Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clara.
And this is the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The Book Club. This time we're covering Wind and Truth. That's right, Book 5 of the Stormlight Archive through Interlude 2. We started from the top, now we're here.
Yeah.
What?
The
That's
top
what happened.
of the book, yeah.
The top of the book, and now we're here.
That is how you would say that, I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
hi,
literally.
chat. Who's excited?
Yeah. Last book club we were in sunny Los Angeles, and now we're in cold ass Canada.
Yeah. We need a carpet.
Yep.
This is a problem.
We can't put the carpet down until the.
I know.
Wait, can you not?
Well, I need to have my feet up, and so this is
So you just slowly drift away.
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
Is there like something I can like, if I like put something under your chair that
it's fine.
will stop you from
cruising back and forth.
I'll just be like this the whole time.
Also, thank you for the love on my sweater. This is the one thing that I bought in Germany, and I love it. It's so cute. My friend Kelly and we got matching cow sweaters. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you and Kelly got them. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
We're here to talk about Brandon Sanderson's Winding Paths, a book where the main plot doesn't take place in the first couple hundred pages.
We got the end of the last book.
We got the end of the last
first
book.
section of this book, which was nice. I'm glad we got that.
And we strongly established the B and the C plots of this book. And we will get to the A plot of this book at some point.
I don't know. I'm like kind of convinced it's not the A plot anymore. You know?
I can't imagine how it isn't.
I don't know. Contest of Champions, I guess, is just not that important.
Dalinar, it really feels like this should be Dalinar's book, and he's kind of in one chapter with Kaladin.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he's around. He's doing stuff.
I was very surprised. I'm 100% sure right now. The beginning of this book is not bad. I'm not trying to come for it.
It's actually great.
I just found the beginning of this book to be very not what the end of the last book set me up in terms of my expectations for where this book was going to go.
Yeah.
And instead it was like Kaladin reminisces with his mom and his little brother and then his dad and then his crew and then his friends, and Kaladin mostly says goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, is Kaladin gonna die? Damn, he only just got happy. Like, that's so rough, but like
the first part of this book genuinely felt to me like, but back in the day when television was good.
Back in the day. Jingle, jingle, jingle. You've seen that TikTok, right?
Nope.
God
no idea what
damn
just happened.
You don't? You've never seen that? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Back in the day when television was good, part 1 of this book reminds me of the episode, not the Shallan stuff, but the Kaladin stuff of the back when television used to have like season budgets, and they would take money out of an episode before the finale so that the finale could have a little bit more money.
Yeah.
And they would have basically like 4 scenes where characters would be like, hey man, remember the ride we've been on? And then it would just flash back to like a music video of like old footage from season 1 and 2.
Oh, wow.
And so Kaladin just going into all of these scenes with everyone being like, hey, remember Tian? Remember when I was a kid?
Remember when I had one brother, and then I lost one brother, and then I got a lot of brothers and sisters? Yeah. Man, what a good time.
I must not specifically a bottle episode. I said bottle episode of other reactions, but a bottle episode is when they film in one. The characters get locked off in one location so that it's easy to film, and they save money that way. This reminded me more of the like reminiscing flashback episodes that TV shows used to do.
Fair enough.
And
you said like musical though, and all I can picture is the Grey's Anatomy musical episode.
No, I mean that they literally put like some pop song over it.
But you said like musical, and I literally like that. I don't know why that's the first thing that popped in my head of all things.
Callie Torres singing to her own body while dying. Great episode.
What a time. Spoilers for Grey's Anatomy. Welcome back to the Nerds Are Radiant. 5 months on this channel.
Yeah.
So crazy.
5 months.
Cal's happy for once, and it's good, but really weird. Yeah. It's not gonna be good for long. You know what I mean? Like, I'm too sus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting. I don't dislike anything that the beginning of this book does.
No.
Genuinely. Like, even the Hoyt stuff that I kind of roll my eyes at, the chapter was good.
Yeah.
He's not to my taste, but I can't sit here and be like, the chapter was bad. The chapter was good, and it is a Stormlight. It is consistent with what the books have been. But in terms of a beginning of a book, I really do feel like that this didn't do that well. I feel like this was a resolution rhythm of war really well.
Yeah.
And we got sort of the ending, and this has happened in Stormlight before, right? I think it was from Words of Radiance into Oathbringer. There was stuff like that happened at the beginning of Oathbringer that I was like, oh, this. No,
maybe.
I think it was Words of Radiance into Oathbringer, where there's just elements of this book that I was like, oh, right, this is what like Shallan's storyline at the end of Rhythm of War needed, but we couldn't get to that because we had to end on the Taravangian Odium stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is what the end of Kaladin's storyline actually should have been.
Yeah.
And so we sit in resolution for so much of the beginning of this book, and they're all scenes that I like. They are, like, genuinely scenes that I like, but as, like, the launching pad for a novel, it felt weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so just having, like, a structure thing, I think it's a strange start to a book, especially a book that's, like, about this Contest of Champions, where everyone is like, the Contest of Champions doesn't matter. Every plotline is like, yeah, don't worry about that. Dalinar's gonna go do that, whether he wins or not.
Shallan's gonna go find Baido Mishram. It's gonna be great.
Everyone is gonna go do something else.
Yeah, and it is like the entire first section of a book, and I know there's 10, right? It's a 10th, I guess.
Yeah.
Of the book, like technically, but it is a little funny.
It's sort of like if the like 8th Fast and Furious movie started with the Corona scene from the end of 7.
Yeah.
Like if 7 ended at the end of the action, and then the top of the 8th movie, they're like sitting in Dom's backyard being like, that was crazy what just happened there, brother, family. Yeah. And then a new movie started like 15 minutes in.
Yeah. And we talked about this in the reactions as well. I think that it is because Brandon Sanderson wanted this 10-day structure, which I'm really interested to see what he does with that. Because it's you said it was a bold choice. It is. Like, it could be great. It could be maybe a little stifling. I think we'll find out by the end of the book. Hopefully. I don't think we're going to not finish this book, but hey, you never know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say never, but I don't think there's a world in which I would not finish this book.
I think the 10-day structure is going to be a little tough. I think there's going to be elements of it that are going to be hard for me to buy into.
Sure.
Like, we're going to talk about it, but the beginning of this book, Kaladin is tasked with a lot of jobs that don't take 10 days. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean? You can totally fix someone in 10 days.
100%. The idea of someone being like, hey, I know you are inventing therapy, but could you go do the hardest case possible in a week?
Yeah. This guy's got trauma with a capital T.
While on a road trip to go cleanse the Shin people.
Well, as soon as they said that, I was like, are we doing a genocide? Like, please, dear God, no. I do want to thank you, James Ross, for pointing out that Rishi became a Nerds Radiant in the middle of the night. So thank you.
Rishi,
we appreciate that very much. And Judah, thank you for that super chat. What do you think of Kelsier bamboozling Gavilar?
We should get into the chapters. Let's just go from the beginning here.
Before
we do that, we got to talk about our sponsor for today's broadcast. That is...
ourselves.
Yeah, we're doing Here's Without Borders 2. It's in way less time than it should be.
We're doing charity.
Yeah, November 8th, we're kicking off Here's Without Borders 2, which will be a month-long charity event where we are bringing together people from across the TTRPG space to play Daggerheart for charity. We're going to be playing in a world of my creation.
Hell yeah.
And because y'all are book club, you're gonna should I pitch them a little bit of it? You'd be the first people to hear what the plot is gonna be?
I don't know. That's up to chat, I guess.
In a world before a world that is fantasy, all of the ideas of human creation live in harmony, kind of, until one day, AI slop begins to take over. And more of this land of creation where human ideas live before they're birthed into our world by our human minds. This land is being consumed by slop, the dark ooze of the internet. But the last original characters are going to band together to make sure that the final child of prophecy gets born onto Earth.
Prophecy, but you hate prophecy.
I know, but we're bringing together people to bring their OCs to the table to save the final child of prophecy from the slop war.
Great. Is the slop war just the Sora feed? Is that...
I mean, pretty much. Yeah.
Great. Love that.
Heroes Without Borders 2: The Slop War is coming November 8th. Maybe that's what we should call it. That's actually kind of funny.
War. It is kind of funny.
Heroes Without Borders 2: The Slop War. It's coming November 8th to December 13th. It is going to be mostly every Wednesday and Saturday, except for while we are at PAX Unplugged. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be very fun. I promise. It's going to be a good time. The guests, the cast, going to be sick. Some of the people who made Daggerheart are going to play.
Yeah.
So that's going to be stressful to DM the creators of the game.
Please. You've already done... Well, yeah, you've already done that.
No, I haven't.
I mean, like, Sam helped on Daggerheart. I'm just saying.
True.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just throwing that
But
out
Sam's
there.
also, like, one of my best friends.
I know.
And the other creators of Daggerheart aren't my best friends.
Yet.
Rowan, I'm coming for you. Heroes of Wars 2: The Slop War, a Daggerheart adventure sponsored by Darrington Press, is coming November 8th to December 13th. We're going to have more announcements throughout the next 3 weeks as we start to get ready to raise money for Doctors Without Borders and the incredible work they're doing in Gaza, the Sudan, and Ethiopia.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. We're super excited.
All right. Let's get into...
Before we get into it, I was going to say, guys, Nerdy is considering streaming some Pokemon this weekend, so if you want that, you should let him know.
Oh, yeah, I bought ZA and I'm going to stream it at some point. On Nerdy
Never
Daily.
mind, he doesn't need convincing, so there you go.
No, I in order
you
to
spent the money,
make
so
it
we
a
have to
tax
write it
write-off.
off.
I have to stream it. I'm coming back to streaming.
Hell yeah. And once I have a room, I'll also be coming back to streaming.
Maverin, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days Stormlight Edition. I don't know. Rhythm of War might have lost me, so I don't know if Brandon Sanderson has 10 days, but we'll see if he can win me back.
Oh, please. That's the one thing I said is we are finishing this book.
Oh, I know.
Is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Stormlight Days, is that just, Kaladin trying to, like, get away from Zeth? He's like, yes. I gotta find the wind, and you are too close.
We're gonna talk about the wind, y'all. Arishi Bhattacharya, welcome in. We are finally at Wind and Truth.
Yay!
Yay, indeed.
We made it.
Thank you for being a member for 3 months. Appreciate you. Prologue to Live. 7.5 years ago.
We called it.
No, you didn't. You were 100% wrong. You were 100% wrong.
We said Gavilar was going to be
the entire prologue. You're sitting beside me being like, that's not the Stormfather. That's Odium. I guarantee that's Odium. It was the Stormfather.
That's not what I'm talking about at all.
Damn. I know, but I know what you're talking about, but I wanted to cut in with this.
Great.
We did call it.
I am sus. I don't think that Gavilar was working with the Stormfather. I think that it was Odium. And yeah, you can suck my balls.
I almost just spit Gabriel subs all over the monitor.
I know. That was intentional.
Yeah, no, we did call it I don't know that we called it. This was the most obvious thing in the world. It's Gavilar's
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where what's the one POV that
gives all the information
we need?
Yeah. Exactly. But we are super smart and brilliant for deducing that.
Also above, Judah Isaac says, what did you think of Kelsier bamboozling Gavilar? I don't know how I feel about it, because let's get into this. Gavilar is talking with Storm Daddy, and he's like, hey, bibbity boppity boo, and the Stormfather's like, those aren't the words. And Gavilar's like, fuck, I just want to be a herald. Why? Dunno.
He thinks it's going to grant him immortality.
No, I know that he'll be immortal. Their version of immortality sucks.
Well, but also, like, the Stormfather hasn't promised him that. He is just fully assuming it.
The Stormfather's like, I never said that.
Yeah.
Damn it, Gavilar, that's not what I said.
I did not say that you would become a herald. That's insane. He's like, you know what? I'm going to plays Telenel a lot. Like, I'm not gonna ask because it would be crass.
I never said that was possible. She's the fuck the Colin family. You guys are crazy. The Starfall has also been like, I'm never gonna talk to a Colin again, and then being like, damn it, how did this happen twice?
We said he's like, fuck you and your family. Like, but that's basically what he does.
I know, and then he immediately bonds down her.
Stormfather's got like a worse memory than I do, I swear. I mean Odium. Which is why I think it's weird. Like it's so contradictory. I don't think that the Stormfather that is in this prologue is the same person that we know in the rest of the books as a Stormfather. I'm like, I don't care. That is my prediction. It is not him.
Blue Sun says, you said before you weren't interested in a Gavilar prologue. What did you think of the execution? It's fun. It's a bit much on the Cosmere stuff. But that's just what these books are now. And I just need to get over my desire for these books to be about the plot and not about world building bigger things for the future.
Well, yeah, I do think that this does lean heavily on the like Cosmere of it all, which is fine if that's how this is going to be. This is the POV to do it in, right? Because I think we said, how much information can we really get from Gavilar that we don't know, and it turns out it is quite a lot. Gavilar knows things that he's keeping Vasher like captive ? Like
sure.
He's like, I have my own god world hopper. It's like having mods in the basement, you know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Basically, Gavilar is a horrible person confirmed. Yeah, Judah, 100%. We knew he was awful. He is still awful. He's like, man, Navani's so hot. Nah, fuck her. Like...
Victor Desana, yeah, seriously. No, Gavilar sucks. Thank you, Judah, for that super chat.
Yeah.
Victor Desana says, also you guys have asked why Vasher's in Roshar. This isn't why he's in Roshar.
Well, yeah, I don't know why he came to Roshar. We still don't know.
We know why we know that we know what happened to him while on Roshar, but we don't know how, because I don't think Gavilar went and got Vasher, right? So Vasher came here, and then Gavilar, so we don't know why Vasher's here. We just know that Vasher came here maybe to do this, but I here's the thing about the Gavilar prologue. I don't know that if I just read the Stormlight Archive, if I didn't do our reading order, I don't know that I would give a shit.
That's fair.
If I haven't read Mistborn, like, what is the value of this?
You're like,
Oh, great. Some guy from another planet.
Or if you haven't read Elantris, you're like, what are all these floating orbs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those weird things where...
Yeah. Like, I'm grateful for what we've done and for chat for, like, helping us facilitate this so that I do understand. But my brain does go, like, what about the people who, like, don't have you guys?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
The Savory 5 says, I guess the value is the mystery of it. I guess, but like mystery is fun because of the way that you can unpeel the layers of mystery. Mystery existing so that you go read another book where Sions also aren't that important. It's like, oh, they're just a thing here.
Yeah. My personal preference for mystery is something that I actually have a chance of maybe guessing and figuring out. Like, if I hadn't read the other stuff, I'd be like, fuck, man, I don't know. I ended up reading Will of the Many while I was working on my cosplay, and I turned to you and I was like, am I supposed to be able to figure out what the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, I had to ask, because I was like, am I supposed to be this fucking lost? Should I be able to put these pieces together?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. And I do think that some of the Cosmere elements of this story are in that vein of like, oh no, you're not really gonna figure that out without reading X, Y, and Z, right?
Code Monkey says, before Wind and Truth, I remember Sanderson putting out a video. We need to talk about the Cosmere, where he said basically that going forward, he's going to rely on readers having read other Cosmere more. I understand that. I do get that. And
and that's his prerogative. If that's the kind of stories he wants to tell, like, like power to you.
But if he wants to tell those stories, then tell those stories instead of using the. Here's my thing with it. Right now, the Cosmere stuff feels like Easter eggs, and
sometimes, yeah.
But like the Ghost Bloods are too important to just be Easter eggs. Like they have to at some point be the plot. And they're not in this, but Thydakar's in the prologue, and it's this weird. I think the balance is off with the Cosmere stuff. Either make it like the Cosmere police are going around trying to solve these problems, or don't. But having this like weird middle ground where they kind of care but kind of don't, or kind of present but kind of aren't.
Yeah.
Where their motivations from series to series don't feel like they connect. Like we've talked about this. Like Mraize and Yaddle do not feel like they're part of the same group as Moonlight.
Right.
They just don't feel like they have the same ethos.
Yeah.
And it's because they in Mistborn they're the good guys, but here they're the bad guys. And it's just it's a weird balance right now. And so Thydakar shows up. It's cool that Kelsier's here, but I'm kind of like, if Kelsier was so ahead of Gavilar 7.5 years ago, why are the Ghostbloods still feel like they're chasing shit here instead of being more ahead of everybody else?
Yeah.
There's some weird elements of the story of the Cosmere isn't moving. It just keeps appearing. Like Hoyd is just the same character in all of these scenes because we don't even know which scenes take place when. Like we've read 26 or 18 Cosmere books. I couldn't put them in any order for you other than Warbreakers before Stormlight.
Well, and obviously Mistborn Era 1 is before Era 2 because Era 2 is happening around the Stormlight time, but it's kind of
and that's
about it.
Look, here's the thing. If Brandon Sanderson writes one really interesting Cosmere World Hopper book that puts all of these pieces together into something, I think that it could be justified so fast.
Sure.
But right now, I really care about the Stormlight Archive characters, and I want to read their book, and they're like, what's Kelsier doing here? And I'm like, I genuinely don't give a shit. Yeah. Like, we have enough problems. There's enough plot here. I actually don't care what Kelsier wants to do in this book.
There is enough plot, for sure. Linus, I just want to say thank you for that super chat. Interesting you think Vasher is captive and didn't voluntarily trade a cushy Ardent position for info. I think after Vasher's entire backstory, I think he would be a little more careful about who he worked with. Because the guilt that he felt in Warbreaker
that's what I don't get.
Is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Him working with Gavilar willingly actually doesn't feel like the same character to me.
But also, Vasher can do whatever he wants. He's incredibly rich and incredibly powerful.
He's a god.
Why would he choose to be a slave?
Oh, true, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he's one of those CEOs. It's like I just need people to tell me what to do because I'm tired.
And like unfortunately when we get to the interludes, I am gonna go on a rant about Brandon Sanderson's entire worldview and the way in which I think that he really fails at writing fantasy that isn't deeply, deeply problematic. But we'll get to that when we get to the conversation between the gods about how we can't intervene because if slavery didn't happen, worse things could happen. Which is sure, bud. If we didn't allow this race to be enslaved for 3,000 years, something worse might have happened. Great, Brandon. I love that world perspective. Sometimes Brandon Sanderson is like, these are all gods who have unlimited power and can see the future and can interact, but they're never going to do anything to make anything better because I have to have slavery in my books. Okay, let's keep talking about Gavilar though.
First off, Ernest Hill, thank you for that super chat. Unfortunately, it feels like Sanderson wrote certain books just to explain the magic version of a sci-fi thing.
Yes.
Like the Sion being Star Wars-esque holograms, but more magical. Yeah. Like when he was writing Elantris, was he imagining how the Sions would be in Wind and Truth?
I believe he was.
I have no idea.
I do think that Brandon Sanderson does think in that way. I would rather, if he wants to have the Cosmere be a Cosmere story, I wish it was a Cosmere story and not this larger narrative that keeps trying to interrupt local stories. If you want it to be the Cosmere story, just be a Cosmere story. Write Cosmere stories. Like, I would enjoy that. I love worlds. I love universe hopping ideas. I love multiverse shit. I am the audience for that. The problem is that these books never really care about the Cosmere stuff. The Cosmere stuff is this big, like, something bad is going to happen eventually one day. But, like, the Marvel movies knew to shove that shit into a post-credit scene. It's like if Thanos was, like, randomly walking through scenes throughout the Marvel movies. And people were like, oh, hey, that's Thanos. That's crazy. We'll deal with that later, I guess. Like, there's an element of Hoyd just being like, I gotta stop Odium because otherwise the big war that's going to happen one day will happen. And I'm like, okay, cool. Are you going to do anything to stop Odium? He's like, oh, no. No, I'm just going to fuck this woman and be cryptic. And I'm like, great. I'm glad you're here, I guess. Like, sure, bud. He's like, I'm going to be mean to these people who are doing their best because it's funny and I'm a dick. And you're like, okay, how is this helping the Cosmere? You're just going around being an asshole.
Hey, he was nice to Shalon.
He was nice to one person.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Judah, thank you for that super chat as well. Kelsier did say his agents on Roshar run amok on Roshar in one of the Lost Metal epilogues, which implies he can't really control what they do on Roshar. I didn't think that was Kelsier. Am I misremembering? I'm pretty sure that was...
It was
the mech guy.
Yeah.
The mech guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really cannot imagine that Kelsier would be like, yeah, my agents just gotta just fuck around. They can do whatever they want. I guess I'm not really gonna do anything about it. Mm-hmm. That feels very out of character for me. I think that they pretend to do whatever Kelsier is looking for, and that other people know that they run amok, or view their actions as running amok. But that, I think Kelsier does control it to an extent.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to bite him in the ass.
Well, but also Kelsier in this prologue is clearly willing to work with Gavilar, despite Gavilar's less than, like, upstanding positions.
Well, yeah, Gavilar literally has slaves. You would think Kelsier would get there and be like, fuck that guy. But I don't...
Well, but this gets into where I think Brandon Sanderson has been unfortunately inconsistent in the way in which characters apply their biases, right? I think that there is a problem within the Cosmere in general of Brandon Sanderson wanting to have these characters who come from slavery and who are deeply affected by slavery.
Yeah.
And then once they have positions of power, any sort of problem related to what they went through that they're so upset about, the racisms of their worlds that they give a shit about, is just immediately faded into the background as soon as possible. It is no longer a driving factor for these characters once they are individually no longer participating in being that, like, lower, like, oppressed class. And it's a really interesting problem of wanting to have this story be about these bigger ideas, but pulling these characters up through specifically slavery in all of these instances, and then having them have to kind of not care about that anymore and move on from it.
Yeah.
You know, even this book sort of awkwardly has Kaladin have to maneuver through his thoughts about being, like, a noble person now.
Yeah.
In a society that still has slaves that his people are still enslaved by. And it's so strange to me that in the last book, you know, Dalinar has this moment of being like, I don't know that we can end slavery, right? And then in this book, he's like, hey, Kaladin, I want you to be, like, the heir to my throne. And there's that element of it being like, well, like, Kaladin doesn't even bring up, like, I don't want to be the heir to a throne that enslaves my people.
Well, I mean, that would be, like, stupid, because who best to change things? Like, you know, bring the people up who actually care and can make a difference.
But the fact that it doesn't come up is weird to me. The fact that Kaladin is like, oh, I don't know how I feel about being noble is fine. Like, that's an interesting idea. But also, like, hey, Dalinar, we still enslave my people.
I just kind of thought that was implied by how he feels about nobility, right? Because he got beat down and enslaved by nobility, and therefore he like hates the Light Eyes, and that's why he's struggling to come to terms with being Light Eyes. Like that, I just thought that was.
I understand that, and I completely agree. I'm just saying that like that system is still in place, and.
Yeah, I actually would love to touch in with Yasna on what she's done to eliminate slavery and where we are with that, because at this point in time, I think it has been months.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, has there been any progress on that? Because that would probably affect how Kaladin feels in this moment.
There isn't any progress on that, because Yasna is not queen of a place that she has any control over. She's a queen in absentia of nothing. Like, Yasna is queen kind of in name only.
Yeah,
right?
because
she lives at Urithiru.
Is, yeah.
Like, the Alethi soldiers follow Dalinar's war plan.
Yeah.
Like, Yasna is like, one day I would love to be queen in this way.
Yeah.
But she isn't actually doing anything right now, because she's just queen of her room. You know what I mean? Like, she's queen of her wing, her, like, suite in Urithiru. But the actual citizenry of Alethkar is under Odium's control right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some Alethi people that are in Urithiru, but like sharing that space with Dalinar, who is then the king of Urithiru, is like who belongs to who, like who goes. I don't know. Yeah, it's
just interesting.
It's definitely very complicated. I will say, in this chapter in particular, one of the things that stood out to me as fascinating was seeing Dalinar and Gavilar's relationship from Gavilar's side of it, because I think Dalinar really has these positive memories of his brother and what he did, and then we see how Gavilar actually sees Dalinar and what he thinks of him, and how he's manipulating him his whole life. Like, that was tragic, because Dalinar could have been better sooner, probably, if Gavilar had not been a fucking piece of shit. Like,
yeah, 100%. No, I agree with that. Like, it's so fascinating, and that Gavilar, because we get Gavilar's internal monologue through this, Gavilar's intention at keeping Dalinar this way, right? The manipulation of ensuring that he still finds alcohol, right? Like, Gavilar is such a piece of shit that he is intentionally enabling his brother's alcoholism so that his brother might fight better. Like, that's crazy. That's so darkly evil.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
It is uniquely evil. Like, I'm like, you'd have to be the worst fucking person to do that kind of thing to your own brother. Like, woof. Yeah, no, Gavilar is the fucking worst.
So he sends his, like, peon to go make sure that Dalinar gets drunk for the event tonight, which is so fascinating because Gavilar's such a piece of shit that he sets up his own death. Because if Dalinar isn't drunk, there's a chance that Dalinar could have fought Szeth.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not saying that Dalinar would have beat Szeth, but Dalinar plus Gavilar in Showered Plate, like, maybe, you know, we've seen Dalinar do some pretty crazy shit.
We have.
It's really fascinating to think that, you know, Gavilar dies because he gets Dalinar drunk because he's a piece of shit.
I think it definitely is part of the, the consequences of your own actions, you motherfucker.
So we find out that Ristaris brings Nail, and Nail is, there's a great conversation here where the Stormfather is like, no, those are definitely not actually don't worry, the heralds are all dead. These guys, not actually the heralds. The Stormfather is straight up gaslighting.
He's like,
Gavilar.
oh yes, the heralds died. Because that's not a lie. It's
true.
Also not, like, it also completely obscures the truth in here. Because Gavilar thinks that Ristaris is just pretending to be a herald, and then he brings in Nail, and is like, wait a minute, are these guys actually fucking heralds? Like,
But the gaslighting, Gavilar deserved to be gaslit. He gaslit his wife, and the Stormfather was like, revenge, bitch. drop the people's elbow on him.
Yeah.
And so they come in, and we find out that they have been pulling void light through the cognitive realm from another planet.
In a box.
In a box made out of aluminum. So the idea is that if you put aluminum around the Stormlight, that might be the vessel to get stuff off planet.
I think.
But the box can only go so far.
Yeah.
So even in aluminum,
it to braze,
yeah,
which like that, even that, I'm like, oh damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so I think that the long-term goal is going to be making like aluminum batteries that can pull Stormlight off Roshar to other planets to be used as weapons.
Kinda, yeah. And I do believe that if Gavilar had talked to Navani about this, she already would have solved it. You know what I mean?
Okay, but here's the problem. Here's the weirdest part about this. Vasher knows all of this and hasn't told anyone.
Well, he hasn't
told
our main characters.
No, he hasn't told that. He hasn't told... Okay, yeah, he hasn't told anyone that matters. Vasher knows all of this is happening and is just in... Okay, if you go back and read Way of Kings, the entire time that is happening, Vasher is just sitting around not telling anybody what is going on. Vasher is a lunatic.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about it after we finished the prologue, and I was like, wait a second. So Vasher has known through all 4 books what is going on, and it's just like, everyone can die, it's fine.
Kind of? Like, I'm legit like...
What is going on?
Like, did whatever happened between Warbreaker and this make Vivenna and Vasher worse people?
I don't...
Like, at least... here's the thing.
Know.
Vivenna and Vasher are clearly not together anymore, and maybe this is why. Maybe Vivenna is like, wait, dude, you suck. Like, I just feel like Vasher, with what happened with Nightblood and the god... Like with what happened on his planet that he was directly responsible for, I just think he'd be a little bit more careful about who he works with. And now he's just, like, fucking around. He's like, yeah, I have information that would probably help a lot of people, and I'm just gonna not.
Judah Isaac, thank you for that super chat. What fascinates me about Gavilar is he has all this power and all these connections and resources at his fingertips, and he's so short-sighted with it all.
He's like, immortality for me, and that's what matters. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't see him as being that short-sighted. He has a webbing of plans, and he's making them happen. I don't really think he's that short-sighted.
That all come down to just him being immortal. It's not...
But he's so close. Like, the only reason why he fails is that Nail, like, is that an immortal being stops him. He's not actually failing at any of his plans. He's really succeeding. And his plan to bring the Radiance back works. Like, all of his plans work. Nail just happens to be better than
That's
him.
not short-sightedness, though. Like, the amount of knowledge that he has about the Cosmere on a grander whole seems to be massive, and he's like, yeah, immortality, that's where we're going with this. Like, it's short-sighted, I think, because it's selfish. That's all that he
But
really
selfishness
cares
isn't
about.
short-sighted.
Well, it
short-sighted
ends up
means that
being
you don't
short-sighted.
see, like, the downstream effects.
Yeah.
I think he understands the downstream effects. I think he just misses, like, not knowing that an immortal being is going to hire a mythical assassin to kill you, who has superpowers that haven't been seen in 3,000 years, to me, isn't short-sighted. Like, that's like, because he...
No, short-sighted is like saying that someone's goals don't go beyond a certain capacity, right?
But all of his plans succeed. He just isn't there to see them succeed.
It's not about success.
But that's what short-sightedness is.
No. Short-sightedness is like, say I have a bunch of information that could like change the world on a grander scale, and I don't see that grander scale. I can only see what's directly in front of me, which is like my own gain or benefit, or like it's like small scale versus large scale. Right.
I'm saying no, but but short-sightedness is about implementing a plan, and that plan being stopped because you can't see far enough ahead.
I don't think that's what that means.
Yeah, short-sightedness is about, like, can you implement a plan that you can see, like, how step 5 is impacted by step 4? Like, if you have a plan that has, like, a long tail, right? And it's 10 steps long.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have these 10 steps. But step 2 gets in the way of step 3. It's short-sighted because you missed what is going to happen. But Gavilar's plan works. Not knowing that Nail was going to have him murdered is not short-sightedness. That's a random factor he couldn't have known about. That's life. But his actual plan, what he implements, does work. All of the downstream effects of it happen exactly as he wants them to. He just doesn't get to stick around to see it succeed. He's so not short-sighted. His plan succeeds in absentia of him. Right? Like, his plan still happens even though he isn't there. I think we're just using the word differently. But, like, in my mind, like, Gavilar is he's not a short-sighted character at all.
Yeah. Lacking imagination. Okay, well, that's not helpful.
In my understanding of short-sightedness, like, he is a very long-sighted character. He views the map he's built a plan that is deep and, like, all of the steps to it exist and could have worked. The problem is someone came in and stopped him.
Yeah.
That's not short-sighted. If you're, like, if you have a great economic model and some guy walks in off the street and shoots you and you die, you weren't short-sighted because you didn't see the guy. You didn't plan for someone coming in and shooting you randomly off the street. Your economic model can still be great and can still work without you. His plan is like big brain. He has implemented it. He has brought Voidlight from another planet. He is working with all of these people. He brings the Radiance back. And the chance for him to become immortal exists. He just doesn't live long enough for it to be possible. But his plan gets everything going in the direction of that. I think I don't think he's a short-sighted character at all. I think we're lucky Nail stopped him. Because he's not, right? Same with Taravangian. Like, Taravangian isn't a short-sighted character. They see the downstream effects of things. Now, granted, Taravangian has magical long-sightedness, and Gavilar doesn't. But Gavilar is incredibly successful at what he wants to accomplish. Nail is just like, oh, I have to stop you. You're a lunatic.
No, Nail lets him do whatever he wants.
Well,
Nail looks at him and is like, well, you're the king and you're the law, so there's nothing I can do about it. And I was like, wow, so useful. Thanks, Nail.
Okay, but we know that's not true.
What do you mean we know that's not
because
true?
Because of the flashbacks, we know that Nail actually intercedes to get Zeth to kill. Nail's the reason why Zeth kills Gavilar. He just doesn't do it himself.
What? No, Eshonai is.
I know, but that only happens because Nail goes and gets Venli out of trouble, right? In Venli's flashback. Nail tells Venli about Zeth, which is how Eshonai is able to hire Zeth. But if Nail leaves this... Okay, I know this is confusing because the flashbacks are split across books. Eshonai discovers about the anti-void light thing. Mm-hmm. She goes back to her people. Venli has been upstairs doing the, like, potty shit, gets caught, gets released from that by Nail. Nail, that scene with Venli and Nail is after this scene.
Yeah.
So Nail is like, I can't do anything to you legally. Yeah. He goes and gets Venli out, tells Venli about Zeth. Venli goes back to the listeners. Venli and Eshonai's both, their shit meets up. But Zeth only kills Gavilar because Nail wants to kill him here but can't.
Wild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Stormlight.
I need like red string just tying all these fucking flashbacks together.
Honestly, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. All right. Anyways, we find out that Restares is
we're 45 minutes in on the prologue.
That doesn't surprise me. There's a lot that happens here.
Someone up was like, I wish they would talk more about the books and not like meta Brandon Sanderson commentary. And I'm like, this podcast is 3 hours long. We will get to it.
Yeah. The first part is always like general thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
And then we get into the chapters. So we find out that Restares knows how to find Baito Mishram.
Mm-hmm.
No,
they don't know how to find him.
Well, Restares thinks that people are after him because he says it himself, because he knows how to find Baito Mishram. That is his own words. which is why it's a little bit weird later when he tells Shallan that, like, he knows where Baido Mishra got put, but not actually how to find her.
Yeah, I think when he's saying in the prologue, like, I know how to find him, I think it's just that he knows that it's the spiritual realm. I don't think he knows actually once you get there what to do.
Maybe.
I don't think anyone knows what to do once you get to the spiritual realm to find it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's one of those things where it's like, once you get to the spiritual realm, anything can happen kind of shit. But I hear what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, so Gavilar and Stormfather muse momentarily about why Kelsier wants Baido Mishram. I don't know. Stormfather's like, I don't know, man. And I'm like, same. I don't know either.
Yeah.
I think that it might... We did talk about this. I was like, maybe, like, if Baido Mishram can give forms to people...
Yeah, but Baido Mishram hates humans, so...
Right, but, like, maybe Kelsier... He could give, like, a form to Kelsier where he can be physical and fly again. Like, maybe Kelsier could have, like, a, like, body... Like, become a heavenly one.
Yeah.
And, because, you know, he misses the skies. So, I don't know.
Judah, thank you for that super chat. Have a good time.
Therapy and The Crucible.
What a show.
What a
show.
The only show longer than ours.
Yeah. I've never actually, like, seen a stage production of it, but I have read the script.
I've thought about going to a stage production of The Crucible.
And then you're like...
And then I was like...
How many pee breaks are there?
There's so many things I could do in 7 hours.
Okay. It's not that long.
No, I'm sure it's good. I'm sorry. I'm so kidding.
Have fun.
Here's the problem. The only productions of The Crucible I've ever had the opportunity to go to have been high school productions.
Oh, no.
And the idea of going to a high school production of The Crucible...
Oh, no. Certainly not. No. I
love that Judah's like, I'm going to go do The Crucible and we're just shitting. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
a leg.
It's a good show. It like, there's good stuff in there. It's fucking dark. Anyways, so Sons of Honor are there. Amaram is like, new recruits, let's go. Also, your daughter won't let me fuck her. And Gavilar's well, like, try harder, bitch. So that's weird.
Also, your daughter won't let me fuck her. Is I wish that was the line in the book.
Basically what happens. And yeah, Gavilar's
yo, your daughter won't let me smash, bro.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know, get good, bro. And he's also like, I might make Amaram my heir because Elhokar is a fucking piece of shit.
Oh my god.
I hate my son and he's unworthy of my legacy. Whose fault is that? Anyways, this is where Taravangian shows up as a Son of Honor. And Gavilar does not recognize him at first. And is like, Amaram, are you sure you want to bring in this guy when it's clearly like one of these two women who's running Cabron? And Amaram's like, yeah, no, bro, I got a good feeling about this.
Also, Elhokar's, how old? Isn't Elhokar like 12 here?
You'd be like, what, 15?
Maybe 15, yeah.
Because this is 7 years ago.
And he's like 22 when he dies?
He has a son, and his son is a few years old. I don't know.
What do you mean he has a son? His son's... No, Elhokar.
Yeah,
is his son.
Elhokar has a son that's several years old. So I think maybe in this, maybe Elhokar is like 16.
Oh, he's in his 20s. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, okay. But still, Elhokar is still a child, and Gavilar's like, yeah, fuck that guy.
So then we find out what Gavilar's plan with his immortality is. And it's that he's going to just give up every time they go back to Braze and just have the desolation be constant and forever. And he's just going to wage war all the time. Because...
that's the Alethi way.
Yeah. He's like, if my people are always fighting, then they're always going to the Tranquiline Halls. We ride for Valhalla. Good luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Stormfather's
just
like...
constant state of war.
Oh, bitch, you're crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you're like...
You're an actual lunatic.
Yeah. I'm out.
I fucked up.
You and your family can go fuck yourselves.
The Stormfather is such a like interestingly cold character because he doesn't really care about a lot. You know what I mean? He doesn't have needs and desires what humans do in the previous books. And so for this prologue to be like the Stormfather's just sitting in this room like, what are we doing? It's so funny. Like, honestly, I found a lot at the beginning of this book to be funny. Some of it I think is intentional, some of it not, and we'll get to that. But the reality of the Stormfather being like, you're the worst person ever. Which I just I didn't find it funny in the moment because I was sitting there like trying to parse it.
Dishonor on your cow. Like,
but yeah, my second time through this chapter, I was just like, this is hilarious. That Gavilar is so awful that the Stormfather is horrified.
Yeah.
A character I didn't know could be like, he'll willingly just murder people with his storm.
Yeah.
And even he is like, damn, man, you are taking this way too far.
Yeah, that's cold. My guy, I can't with that. That's too much.
Damn, fuck your family.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I need the interlude flashback, though, of the Stormfather being like, I guess I'll go back to a Colin.
Right? What changed?
And then, Gavilar gets attacked by Zeth, discovers that the Stormfather has been gaslighting him about the heralds the whole time.
Yeah.
And Gavilar dies in the way that we already knew. And we find out that the most important words a man can say are just how the ones that make you immortal, which is so much lamer. But they
don't make you immortal, and that's the thing, right? Is that Gavilar is under the impression that he's going to say the words to become a Knights Radiant, and that's going to make him an immortal herald. Yeah. And he is just so misled about what that means.
Yeah, I just mean that Gavilar's like dying moment wish is so lame. And you know, when you read Way of Kings, you're like, wow, this is going to be so cool. You know what I mean? This is going to be so... Whatever these words are, they're going to be massive. And then you slowly find out that Gavilar actually just sucked and was a bad person, and that he was just wrong at the end, and that he was just a lame loser. Yeah. And it's just so... It's so interesting for this fantasy series to deconstruct the image that
Navani portrayed of him as his legacy,
It's so epic and mysterious, James Ross. You're so right. Yeah. And then when you uncover the mystery, it's actually just that like this dude sucked. Yeah. And was wrong. And the entire war and all of it was built on assumptions he made that aren't relevant to anything. Yeah. Oh, Busan, I'm not saying that the way in which the story plays out isn't cool, and what Dalinar finds in Gavilar's death is very cool. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to be clear. Like, what Dalinar does with this information and how Dalinar grows and changes and becomes the man he becomes is very cool. Mm-hmm. And this doesn't change that, right? Yeah. But what it meant to Gavilar is such like loser shit. Yeah. And I just find it, I love that this like dude dies. He's a bad dad, he's a bad husband, and he dies finding out that he was gaslit by the storm and still wanting something that doesn't exist. Yeah. It's so interesting. Yeah. Because there aren't words. There's no most important words a man can say. And like that's what it is, right?
Well, and that's why Gavilar never understands journey before destination. Yeah. It's not the words that you say, it's like how you get to them and implement them. And that's what the story's about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fascinating. Yeah. Pigurmana says, it's funny, though, because he's telling Dalinar to look for the Radiant Notes. He's not telling Dalinar to look for the Radiant Notes. He's telling Dalinar to look for the words that make you a herald.
Well, because he thinks that those words make you a herald. I don't think he understands that, like, those words just make you a Radiant.
No, I think he understands there's a difference, because they know what the Radiant words are.
No, Gavilar literally is trying to say the words to become a Radiant from the Way of Kings.
No, he's trying to become a herald.
Yes, exactly, and by doing the wrong thing. He has been misled as to what, like, the Stormfather has promised him.
No, the Stormfather hasn't promised him
that he would become a herald. That's what he thinks can happen.
Exactly.
If he finds the right words.
Which are just the oaths.
No. Because they know what the radiant oaths are. They know the first oath.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, that's like public information.
No, it's not.
Life before death, journey before destination, strength over weakness. That they already know that those are the radiant oaths.
No, then he would have said it.
No, you have to have a spren make it happen.
What do you mean make it happen?
Pinkermano, Stormfather is rejecting his words the same way cultivation rejected Venn.
No, Gavilar doesn't. Yeah. No, Gavilar doesn't know the words. He comes close to saying one of the oaths. He comes real close. But it's not at all.
But
he thinks that he's gonna say some magic words that make him a herald. He doesn't understand that the words just make you radiant. Like the fact that in the same way Dalinar had to find the words. Like you have to find them. They're not just like public knowledge.
Aren't they in Way of Kings though?
What do you mean?
The words are like published in Way of Kings. Like the book has the words in them.
They're not.
The problem is you have to mix them with like capital I intent in order to.
No. Those phrases are not in the Way of Kings. The ideas are in the Way of Kings.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's like an instinct to say the words. The words are an instinct that comes with intent. Like Kaladin didn't read the words and say them out loud. They came to him in a moment of like magical intent and inspiration, right? Same with Dalinar. Dalinar read the Way of Kings and is not like, I am now quoting the Way of Kings with these words. He took the information from the Way of Kings, understand it and internalized it, and the words manifested themselves.
Right, but what I'm saying is that the words don't matter. The intent, like you have to have capital I intent.
Sure, yeah.
For them to do anything. Like Gavilar has said those words out loud because he's recited the whole book. It's not about saying words, right?
That's what I mean. The words themselves are not in the book. The ideas are in the book. And Gavilar says one of them so closely. Like, I wish I could remember the exact quote, but one of the things that Gavilar says is the idea of one of the oaths, but it's not the exact wording of it.
But no, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that he has said the exact wording of it, because the exact wording of it is in Way of Kings. It just doesn't matter to just say the words in order. Just saying the words in order isn't saying the oath.
I don't think the words are in the Way of Kings.
I'm fairly certain.
Because then it would just be public knowledge.
No, but it's not public knowledge how to say those words to become a radiant. But the words in order exist in the book.
I don't know about that.
Because you can just say life before death, journey before destination, strength before weakness, and nothing happens.
Sure.
Women read those words out loud all the time to men, and they don't become radiants. Uh-huh. But those words are in the Way of Kings in that order.
I don't know if they are.
I'm almost certain they are.
I thought that was the whole point of the idea of finding the words.
Yes, they exist in the book. Yeah.
Then how did Kaladin know them?
What do you mean?
Then how did Kaladin spontaneously say words that he's never read before?
I'm fairly certain Teft told him. Yeah.
I thought Kaladin...
Just saying the ideal doesn't do anything, though, without capital I intent. Yeah.
I thought Kaladin came up with them, and Teft was like, that's the first ideal. Like...
No.
But I don't think Teft told him. Teft did not tell him.
I'm just saying that's what Chad is saying happened.
No, James Ross says Teft did not tell him.
I'm confused then, because none of this matters. What I'm saying is that the words are in the book. Just reading the words doesn't do anything. Just reading the book doesn't make you a radiant.
Sure, I'm just not convinced that the words are actually in the book.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. That doesn't matter. All I'm saying is that if they were to be written down, if you wrote down all of the oaths, and a woman read them to a man, they don't become a radiant.
Yeah.
Just saying words doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have to have all of these other parts to it.
Yeah. We
have to move on from this because it literally doesn't matter. Gavilar is dead. And you know what?
Like a little
I'm so happy he's actually fucking... I was a little worried we were going to find out that he didn't die. I was like 10% worried he was... Because Kelsier's in this chapter as a cognitive shadow.
Yeah.
Vasher's in here as an immortal. I was a little worried this was going to... I was a little worried this was going to end with Gavilar surviving somehow.
Yeah.
Very, very, very grateful that dude is fucking gone.
Yes, and we get it from his perspective that he is dead, so it is confirmed.
Day 1. Amazingly, an hour in, we are finally on the actual book. Kaladin. We start with, interestingly, the epigraph here is, I should have known I was being watched all my life. The signs were there. I really want to know who wrote The Night of Wind and Truth. Also, why isn't the book called Nights of Wind and Truth? Why is it just called Winds and Truth? It's very... long. I know, but if you're going to do the, like, Ketek thing with all of the titles of the first part of Stormlight to make them one Ketek, but the Knights of is... Because it's Way of Kings... like, all of the...
Instead of the Way of Kings?
No. If you take the first letter of all of the titles, it's like ambigraph. What is that called? When it's the same forward and backward?
Huh?
If you take all of the first letters of all of the books of the first 5 books of Stormlight Archive, right? And you put them in row, it reads the same forward and backwards, right?
W-O-K... Wait, no.
No, the T-W-O-K.
But it's not. The book is called Way of Kings.
No, it's The Way of Kings. It's not called Way.
No, the book in the book is The Way of Kings, right?
Yeah.
And then the book...
T-W-O-K-W-O-R-O-W-K-O-W-T. It's a palindrome. Thank you. That's the word.
Oh, right, because that's symmetry, and it's like...
and so it's a Ketek.
Holy or something.
It is a Ketek. But it's not a Ketek because... The book isn't called Knights of Wind and Truth. It's just called Wind and Truth. I don't know why it's not called Knights of Wind and Truth. Knights of Wind and Truth is a dope name.
But you forgot and. Knights of Wind and Truth.
That is another problem. I agree.
It's so close, but it's not. Yeah, perfect palindrome, but heretical. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. The publishers veto Knights? Why? Also, it's Brandon Sanderson. I don't think publishers can veto the title of his book.
I don't know.
I just think it's weird. I think it's weird that there is these phantom words in the title that do and don't exist. It's a strange thing to me. Too many books in the naming scheme of A Bowl of Mac and Cheese. Wait, I want to write a book now called A Bowl of Mac and Cheese. That's so funny. And it's just like an intense fantasy series, but the title of it is A Bowl of Mac and Cheese. Anyway. Anyway. Kaladin. Oh, who's writing Knights of Wind and Truth? That's how we got here.
Well, at first I thought it was Kaladin, but then later on...
He mentions Kaladin.
It's like, I was not one of them.
Oh, it's...
The Wind?
Syl.
What?
She becomes a scribe and she writes Knights of Wind and Truth. No, it can't be Syl because she's there.
She's like, I've been watched. Like...
No, but I first knew the Wind as a child during days before I knew dreams. What need has a child of dreams or aspirations? They live and love the life that is. That doesn't sound like Syl, actually.
No.
The Wind told me before she vanished that it was the change in Odium's vessel that restored her voice. Perhaps it is the new storm making people begin to read. Okay, before we get into... Can we talk about all the epigraphs really quickly?
Sure.
These epigraphs really spoil the end of this book.
Why?
Because, the Wind told me before she vanished that it was the change in Odium's vessel that restored her voice. Okay, so the Wind is going to vanish at the end of this book, right? Perhaps it is the new storm making people begin to consider that the Wind is not their enemy. Sure. I have read that in the ancient days, so maybe this isn't a spren. I've read in the ancient days. The Wind often spoke to both human and singer. It would then mean that the Wind stopped talking not because of Odium, but because of the people who began to fear her or to worship the storm instead. As a historian, I find such nuances irrelevant, or find such nuances relevant. As a historian, is it the mean librarian who's like a bitch to Syl?
That would be very funny.
As a philosopher, I find them enticing.
Maybe it's Yasna?
Yeah. Yeah. Regardless, the events surrounding the cleansing of Shinovar, which hasn't happened yet in the book, but we're talking about it, are of specific relevance, and I'm doing my best to record what I can discover of the Wind's own words regarding them, though now that the Wind and Heralds have vanished, like, why are you... Don't tell me this at the beginning of the book.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. All right.
I have only
all
two
the heralds
sources
are gonna be done. Yeah.
who I can speak of these events. They are my witnesses. Like, I don't need to know this at the beginning of the novel. I would rather find out later. However, the Wind did not think like a person does. This should not surprise anyone who has familiarity with a Spren, though such things are less common now than they once were. I don't want to know that Spren become less common because of the events of this book.
Well, no. Just sentient Spren become less common.
That's weird. I don't want to know that yet. Her memory was keen, but her interpretation and explanation of that memory could be fanciful. Those days, though, I believe that she was deliberate, concerned, and focused. She did not see the future, but somehow she knew it anyway, which is how we talk about the future in all of these books. It's very annoying that people are like, I can't see the future. I just know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll agree the first moment came when Kaladin Stormblessed listened. Though not an edge dancer, he did a fine impression of their oaths. So Kaladin is going to bond the Wind?
No, Kaladin is going to... The Edge Dancer's oath is, like, to give voice to people who don't have that.
Oh,
so
that... Yep.
Yeah.
The second moment had already happened when Szeth himself decided to take upon him this quest, the one that would shape all of our futures. Great.
That's what I mean. That the 10 days, the champions is the C plot. This is the A plot.
For a while, that concept of champions was to happen in the East, a different contest was to happen in Shinovar, and one that the Wind swore was equally vital, perhaps more so.
Again, A plot.
I was with them. I was not with them. I did not know of their quest, so it can't be Syl.
It can't be Syl, for sure.
Yet I will do my best to recount their story.
It cannot be Szeth.
And that of the Wind, for they were her champions. For they were, so Szeth is also going to become the Wind's champion. I get it. I understand. I just feel...
That does give a lot away, yeah. Yeah.
I don't personally love being this spoiled about the direction the book is going to go. I don't like Hoyd telling Kaladin in the Hoyd chapter, hey, you need to go do that other thing. It isn't relevant to this. It's its own thing.
Yeah,
I would rather find out that it isn't relevant to this plot in the plot rather than I go in knowing that you know what I mean? Like if Yoda had told Luke Skywalker, hey, you can save Leia and Chewbacca, but you can't save Han Solo. He's gonna get taken to Jabba's palace. And that before Luke leaves Dagobah, I would have been like, I would have rather found that out later.
Yeah.
Like Yoda saying like, hey, this is a bad idea is very different than Yoda being like, you're going to go save your sister. She's also going to kind of save you in the end. But you're not going to save Han. I would be like, okay, that's weird. Like, it's too early to tell me this. And it's so, I don't know. I was like, why is this information here?
Yeah.
Why is it outside the plot? I don't want to read a textbook about the events that happen in a book while I'm reading that book.
Yeah.
It's just very strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The heralds are all going to be gone at the end. The events of this book will cause the heralds not to exist anymore.
And, like, less sentient Spren, which means maybe, like, no more radiance. Like...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I find it very strange how much meta information is in this and the Hoyd conversation.
Pinky Romano, first time through my vote. The writer is Renarin. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Renarin's a good choice.
He's a truth watcher. So, yeah. Although, I don't know if Renarin is really a philosopher. Yeah. Interesting. Z-Man
says, if they didn't tell you that Kaladin wouldn't make it back, you would be constantly looking for when it happens, and when it doesn't, would complain that Kaladin wasn't part of the contest.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
I disagree. I don't have a problem with... I don't have a problem with me finding out with Kaladin he can't make it back. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Kaladin wanting to come back the whole time and looking for opportunities to leave to go help Dalinar over and over and over again, and then having to come to terms with the fact that he's not going to be able to go help Dalinar is very interesting, right? Kaladin being like, I don't have to worry about Dalinar, not my problem, I only have to worry about what's directly ahead of me, is foreshadowing that I don't know that the book needed.
Sure.
And it's weird that both... It is weird to me that both the epigraphs and Hoyd both tell him this.
Yeah.
it's an interesting amount of spoiling that happens at the beginning of this book that I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, Unfamiliar Ground. We've talked about all the epigraphs. Done.
Yeah.
Checking shit off the list. Kaladin is like, all right.
Yeah. He's like, man,
Tef died
I'm
yesterday.
tired. yeah. Well, no, wait. 2 days ago, I think?
Yeah, it's like 48 hours after Tef died.
And he's like, you know
what? No,
what?
It's got to be longer because they built statues and shit.
No, it's literally 2 days.
Is it that fast?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
crazy.
So Kaladin's like, look, today is not a good day, but there will be good days, and that is enough. And I appreciate that sentiment.
Well, no, he's having a good day. He's hanging out with his, like, oh no, the chapter 1 is just the moment with Syl.
Yeah.
I really love the moment of Syl floating up to be, like, in the mirror over his shoulder. Yeah. I think it's a really cute imagery.
Yeah.
She is now walking around in, like, a full-size body that has, like, she's corporeal.
Yes.
Somewhat.
Yes, a little bit. She's working on that.
Which
so that
is
she can scribe for Kaladin.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the statues are soul cast. So yeah, they can immediately make a statue. That I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, no. I just figured it would have taken a couple days to get everything together for that. But Titanisk brings up a point that I think is very relevant to some of why my Cosmere criticisms of Brandon Sanderson. He says, I think it's because of the online talk of Kaladin needing to be Honor's champion. Brandon says very soon to the readers, guys, it won't happen. I do think that a lot of what I complain about in book club, particularly Brandon Sanderson,
is him talking,
is that he is too online and feels the need to comment on the online discussion of his books in the books too much. I think that sometimes the way he explains magic systems, I think sometimes the way he soft retcons things in books, I said this about Rhythm of War. I think that sometimes he feels a need to respond to the discussion in a way that detracts from these books telling their story. Yeah. Because it feels like he is, like, I said this about some of the Wayne stuff at the beginning of Lost Metal. Yeah. Like, it feels like he's almost too aware of what people are saying about his stuff and feels the need to be like, I need to let them know Kaladin's not going to be the champion. Mm-hmm. Because I've oh my God, I'm in the message boards. It does have that quality sometimes in his writing. Right. Yeah. And I just, it is interesting. Titanic, I completely agree with you. I just don't think he needs to do that as much. I think he should just tell stories. Yeah. And I think that when it felt like he was less online, and we'll get to, like, these books feel terminally online now, which is very weird. Like, some of the language feels like it's, like, online language.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we disagree with that, but we'll get to it.
Sure. I just think these books feel very, like they're trying to be very modern. Yeah. And in a way that's very fascinating to me because he has such, like, weird ideas about nobility and stuff. But, yeah. 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 I do feel like sometimes there are, because he teaches writing, it almost feels like there are times in his books where he writes in the stories about how to write stories.
Yeah, which I'm not gonna lie, I know that that's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. I do think that it is part of his unique perspective and what makes him an author that people love dearly. Like, he has, like, die-hard fans. Yeah. And I think that it is because he does something that other people don't do. Yeah. And you know, I think that comes with positives. It also comes with negatives, right? Which can be the maybe being too chronically online and having that bleed through in the book. Yeah. Some people would argue, well, it's worth it to have this person who does this and teaches and is able to impart onto other people who want to tell stories. And so to me that's what I see in these moments, is that it's just part of, like, who he is and what he wants to achieve, which is not only telling stories, but it is also helping other people learn how to tell their stories as well.
Z-Man has a really interesting point here. He says, I feel like his multiple alpha and beta reader groups would call this out if it was too much. I don't really see the point in him having alpha and beta reader groups if he's also being honest about the fact that
the time between him finishing a book and it coming out in the recent history has been about 6 months. Genuinely, I don't know that I see much purpose in an alpha. Like, why are there even 2 reader groups if the book is finished and 6 months later it's out? That's crazy. The idea that the alpha and beta reader groups could possibly finish the book, provide meaningful like feedback, do anything, change anything, is I don't even understand how that process works. Now, if that recent video where he said it's been lately 6 months between him finishing the book and it coming out is not true, then or maybe like the alpha and beta readers get the book in progress, but then that feels very...
That's also tough. It's tough to really like have the full scope of a story and critique it without the whole thing. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure I understand in the space that they have to do these books. I don't know how you even have alpha and beta.
Yeah.
Because that implies that you finish a draft, you send it out to the alphas, they read it, they give their feedback. That feedback goes through an editor, because you don't want to send that feedback raw to Brandon Sanderson. That's never a good idea. The editor takes that feedback, kind of like puts together what Brandon needs to get out of that. That goes back to Brandon. He writes a new draft. That draft goes to the beta readers. They take that. They send that back to the editor. The editor goes through that feedback, takes what's necessary from that, gives that to Brandon. He writes another draft. I don't know how you do that in the time that they are pumping books that are this long out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, I'm like, I don't know how that process could function at the speed at which these novels were coming out.
Yeah, that's tough. I wonder if we would like I feel like the information regarding that would never be fully transparent, just because of the nature of these stories are different and change, and like a lot of people are like, my finished story is what comes out. We don't like release like unfinished versions, and I do tend to agree with that. I think that like creators who go back and like release like the worst version of what they put out is like a little odd. But that's like that is personal preference.
Yeah, it's just really interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jared Poulter says one of the alpha readers said the process for this book was rushed, and they got it one POV at a time. I don't see a point in that.
Yeah, and that just makes it honestly more confusing for me. I don't.
You're not even reading the book. You're not criticizing the book at that point.
Yeah, I don't know how beneficial that is when these books are so large and contain multiple POVs, and how they connect to one another is also important and part of the story.
If you sent me a movie one scene at a time, I don't know what feedback I would give.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know how you.
Well, we do this with like TV episodes, and people get mad that we talk about one episode without the context of the next episode, or we talk about one section of the book without the context of the next section of the book. And it's like, okay, well, we can only talk about what we have at a time. And sometimes we change our tune when we have more context and more information.
But we're talking about finished products. Mm-hmm. Right? We aren't discussing something that can change. We've never discussed something that could change. Everything we're talking about is our response to something that is done.
Yeah, sure.
We are now talking too much about meta Brandon stuff. Let's talk about the book.
Yeah. That is fair. I think that's a discussion for another day. Because once we are done with Sanderson stuff and we can't get spoiled by like the videos and extras and things that he puts out, I am interested to see like what he has said about his process.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Now we have to keep talking meta. Victor Desana, this is crazy. Victor Desana says, by POV, they mean they get like all of Cal's POVs in the book. Not chapters. Literally getting just Kaladin's story. That's nuts.
I don't know how I feel about that, but let's move on.
No, that's insane.
Look, I'm not a writer. I'm not gonna like...
These are like on...
But that does feel weird.
That explains so much of what got weird after Oathbringer to me. Of these books feeling like they're just characters doing separate things instead of like an ensemble story. The first few books feel like kind of ensemble stories. The Way of Kings doesn't. But Words of Radiance and Oathbringer, what's really strong about them is the way those plots work together and are like an ensemble of characters handling a big problem together.
Yeah.
And I think what didn't work about Way of Kings and doesn't work as much about Rhythm of War for me is that everyone just feels like they're kind of doing separate plots that aren't related at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's noticeable that the giant reveal of the Spren isn't big enough that Adolin and Shallan mention it to Kaladin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because those things are kind of not relevant to each other. Their plot lines don't connect in any way anymore.
Yeah.
And the information that they learn isn't actually relevant to the stories that they're moving forward with.
Yeah.
And so if that is literally happening because Brandon Sanderson writes the plot lines separately and then just kind of like smushes them into a book, that's fascinating and wild.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what that means for this book moving forward. Is Kaladin's plotline just actually completely separate and not relevant to anything else? It just is that, like, he is on his own. If this book is about 3 potentially world-ending missions that have nothing to do with one another, I don't know how satisfied I'm going to be by it. I understand that Kaladin doesn't make it back to Dalinar, but if their plots literally end and don't interact at all, that's going to be so weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we find out that things in the tower are different now that there's a new bondsmith in town.
They have central air. Let's fucking go.
And also, the, like, tower light lashings and stuff last forever. Like, he's like, I lashed my uniform to the wall overnight, and, like, 8 hours later, it's still there.
Yeah, because tower light, that shit is strong. Also, apparently the Radiants can just kind of, like, breathe in the air in the tower, and there's just kind of, like, tower light everywhere.
It's a consistent perpendicularity that, like, Dalinar can open elsewhere, I think.
I don't even... No, I don't think it's a perpendicularity. Because I don't think it's open to the spiritual realm. I think that it is that...
No, but I mean, it's similar in that there's just always stormlight that can be sucked in.
No, I think there's tower light.
Yeah.
But I think that because they can use tower light like stormlight.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think it's a perpendicularity. Because if there was a constant perpendicularity, that would be very dangerous.
Yeah,
because things could come through.
Yeah, I just mean it's similar in that way.
Yeah.
Sleet Sheep, thank you for the super chat. From what I understand, he writes one POV at a time as well. Huh. Fascinating.
But so that explains some parts of day 1 where I'm like, wow, this chapter has Kaladin doing the most boring, like, personal, not boring, but, like, very, like, not high stakes personal shit. And then it's like hard cut to Shallan is drowning in a sea of beads. And I'm like, this doesn't feel like it should be in the same chapter.
Well, you gotta stagger the action, I guess.
I know, but if you write them completely separately.
You knocked me away.
I'm sorry. Guys, I don't know how...
Floors are not flat. It's fine.
This reveal has broken my brain. I'm so sorry. But the idea that he's writing the entire book by POV is so...
I don't know. I could maybe understand outlining that as a first draft. But yeah.
Anyway, we simply must move on. So Kaladin is like, all right, well, I'm going to go talk to my parents. There's a lot here about... There's a lot here about Syl and, like, why she is the size she is. Yeah.
Well, not really about why. It's just that she is, and it's about that it feels right. And we haven't really gotten into Syl's feelings yet, to be honest. It does feel like it will be relevant, but I'm like, Syl is just becoming more and more human-like.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe all of the sentient Spren just become people.
Interesting.
And that's why their sentient Spren are rarer, because they actually just become... That would be real weird. If this book ends with the Spren just being people, that's going to be real strange. Because they have their own, like, cultures and societies and shit.
Yeah, and I don't really think Syl, like, wants to be human. She makes fun of humans for a lot of things, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so we cut over to Shallan. Shallan basically just recaps what happened in the last book.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and Kaladin hears the wind for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. Kaladin hears the wind for the first time.
Yeah,
the wind is now a character because these books needed something else to happen. There wasn't enough metaphysical.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope that the wind is something that we already know what it is. Like it's connected to a thing, then it's not like a new thing. But
no, it's definitely an old thing that has been let go of and is now a new thing.
What does that mean?
Like, the wind is going to just be another metaphysical character in this book that has a... I think it's one too many. I think we're past one too many, actually. But because the wind is going to disappear with the heralds at the end of this.
Yes, but that could be an unmade that could disappear with the heralds.
Sure, but even if it's an unmade, it's a new one. It's not one we are familiar with. Even if it is an unmade...
Or maybe it's the Night Watcher. Like, that could also disappear with it. I'm just saying, there are other magical things that it could be connected to or part of, okay?
Avishai Sam says there's bits about the wind in Way of Kings, so... The wind has previously been mentioned.
Great.
Yeah. So we find out... We get a soft retcon of Shallan's killing of Testament, in that now Shallan didn't actually kill Testament.
Yes. They severed the bond with a jagged knife because Shallan did not understand intent.
Because she was a child. So there is consent in the Brandon Sanderson universe, which is good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Children cannot consent. They can't, but this is where it gets weird. Okay. Here's where it gets weird. If a child can consent to the bond and can have enough intent to form the bond, why can't a child have enough intent to break a bond?
Great question.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, and I said this in the reaction, because I don't think that is what it is actually about.
I know, but this is just telling us that is what it is.
That is what Shallan has reasoned.
Well, no, Pattern agrees. Pattern tells her this.
Pattern doesn't know shit.
I know. I just find it a little weird to say that Testament is, like, not fully dead, but is dead.
Testament is dead, but dead in a different way. In a way that's less clean than just being dead.
But the reason... Victor Sana says the bond wasn't fully broken. Yes, the bond wasn't fully broken because Shallan was a child. But the bond was fully made despite Shallan being a child.
Yeah.
Which gets into, like, the weird, like, consent problems of this stuff. Like, if a Radiant is drunk and breaks their bond...
Yeah, does it count?
Do they only half die? Also, we do get the reveal that the Deadeye thing happens because Bada Edo Mishram is locked away. And before Bada Edo Mishram was locked away, this didn't happen.
Weren't not a thing. Yes. So Bada Edo Mishram's connection to the Spren of Roshar it affects all of them and affects the bond too somehow. Like, the bond is different because Bada Edo Mishram is locked away.
Linus Vikstrom says, I read it as children can have the intent, but Shallan did not in this instance. But she had enough intent
here's my theory.
To kill. Testament's still dead.
Regardless,
Testament is still dead.
Here's my theory. The difference between Shallan and the Knights Radiant is that the Knights Radiant knew something bad would happen if they broke their oaths. They didn't know Deadeyes, they didn't know they'd die. But they knew that there would be negative consequences to breaking the oath. Shallan did not know that there would be negative consequences to breaking oath. And I think that is why it is differently severed and not her being a child. I think that they are wrong.
I feel like Brandon Sanderson made this too complicated.
Yeah.
Because even like Seth Butler here is saying, I read it that she didn't fully break the bond because she wasn't trying to full break it because it was all unintentional and she was just lashing out in fear. But then why did that break it at all? If she didn't intend to break it at all, she was just lashing out, why can the bond be broken unintentionally?
Yes.
That just... I don't know. Blues Barrows, yes, Cal almost broke his bond, and it says... Blues Barrows, Cal almost broke his bond and so was losing herself. Yes. But that was because Kaladin was breaking the oath. Kaladin was defying his oaths as a Windrunner. Shallan was just like, I hate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Shallan was, like, just being a teenager. I was like, I fucking hate you. You helped me kill my mom, which is a wild thing to do.
Like, what oath did Shallan break in that moment?
She was just upset.
Yeah.
I feel like this has gotten... This bit was, like, him trying to kind of put some rules around it, but actually made it more confusing to me.
I agree.
It was just easier when I was like, okay, it's weird that children can break bonds in this way, but it happens. But now it's like, well, it's not like a full break. It's like a different break.
That's why I think that it has to do more with knowing that there will be consequences. Like, I know what the book says in this moment, but I think that the book is wrong because I just don't think that Pattern and Shallan have all the information available to them. I think that the bond broke cleanly for the Knight's Radiant Sprint because they knew what they were doing, and it was intentional. They were intentionally breaking this bond, and Shallan had absolutely no idea that saying that I hate you was like breaking their bond, right? So I feel like this, the way that this is like given, the information that is given to us in this section, I feel like doesn't make sense and just make things really complicated.
Ernest, I'll take that super chat.
Thank you, Ernest.
Shallan feels like an OC in D&D that is way too powerful at start of campaign and needs to be nerfed. Yes.
No,
Shallan is the character.
She is the most special girl.
Shallan is the D&D character where the like player writes in their backstory that they like killed a dragon, but the campaign starts at level 3. And so the DM has to like kind of make it make sense that this character has killed a dragon.
Yeah. But Victor DeSana says, we don't know her original truths, right? You have to like do the thing where you say truths to be a Radiant, right? She already has Testament as a Shardblade, which means that she needs to have given truths to Testament that were accepted, right? And so what did she break?
Her order gets their Shardblade earlier. Her order gets their Shardblades earlier than the Windrunners do. The Windrunners get them after, right? Isn't that a thing? But regardless of that, it's the same progression. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else then. Regardless of that, we've seen the scene where Shallan tells Testament to fuck off. We've watched it. Or read it, or what.
Yeah.
I know. I say watched as if because I pictured it.
Like, what truth was broken? What oath was broken?
There's no truth in, like, being... Like, I don't understand how her being upset that I need you to leave me alone breaks a truth.
Unless she's like, I promise we'll be together forever.
But that's an oath. That's not a truth.
I know. That's why it's confusing. That's why this doesn't make sense to me. That's why I think that there is more information here and that this is misleading.
I just don't. Yeah, this is so the half broken, but you're still dead. It's so complicated. It's so weirdly complicated.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can like break an oath, but still summon it as a Shardblade, because it's a half broken oath.
Oh right, she accidentally summons Testament and is like, wait a minute.
No, she kills Tin.
Yes.
With Testament.
I just mean there's a moment in this book where she summons the Shardblade, realizes it's Testament and not Pattern, and is like, like that's
Titanic says, but you're right, Nerdy, not all orders get the same things at the same time in their progress. Yeah, I knew, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, there was something in there.
One of the orders gets their Shardblades earlier than other orders. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
Maybe the memory issues Shallan has made it impossible to live.
But she didn't intentionally. But again,
her brain broke.
You can't say that Shallan was like, "All right, it's time to flick the switch of my memories off." Like that's not how it works. They just turn off, which means there's no intent to it. That
feels a little too clean to me personally. I don't.
You can't say that like because you are blocking your own memories through trauma.
Yeah, she did.
That you have done something intentional.
She blocks out the memory of killing her mom and breaking the bond after she breaks the bond. Like the bond breaks first because
and the trauma
she says,
of that
I hate
causes
you.
her to create Radiant.
That's what Veil.
No, I thought she created Veil when she killed her mom and then Radiant when she broke her bond.
No, because she breaks her bond.
Oh my god.
So she kills her mom and then breaks her bond. And then because of the trauma of those two things together, then forgets that it happened. If she had been like, I'm going to decide to forget my mom existed. But that feels like an edge dancer thing. I don't know. That feels like an edge dancer thing.
But then why? But if that's what it is, why does Testament die? Because we've seen like Syl almost dies, but she doesn't die. Half die.
Yeah.
She just almost dies.
Yeah.
During the Recreants, thank you, Z-Man, for the super chat. During the Recreants, both the Radiants and Spren agreed to break the bond. Testament didn't agree to break the bond, so only partially severed. But Shallan also didn't, like, agree to... I don't know, man.
And maybe that has to do with it as well. I just think that this is so convoluted compared to whatever...
I came to terms with the end of the last book and was like, okay, fine. I don't love that Shallan was able to do it as a child, but whatever.
Yeah.
And now this book was like, actually, it's just more complicated and makes less sense.
It definitely makes less sense to me. So yeah. Whoo boy. Chris Pilkington, welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. Shallan is a child screaming, "I hate you, no focus." Well, that's why it's weird. Doesn't make sense to me.
Orc MCC says, but Lightweaver oaths are for solidifying who they are. If the truth given changes, it causes the oath to break because they are swearing on who they actually are. But then
how every is Lightweaver's
oath,
Radiant?
But every Lightweaver's oath would break all the time because truths aren't. There are very few personal truths that stay eternal.
No, we are different people than who we were a year ago.
I don't even use my real name.
Yeah.
Like, I introduce myself to people as Nerdy.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am now. Like, Nerdy is not just a name that I use on the internet. I introduce myself in real life to people that way now. That's just how I prefer to be addressed.
Yeah.
And the idea that, like, because I used to go by my legal name, David Weens, and then I was like, oh shit, as an actor, I need to be David Webb. And then people started calling me Nerdy, and I realized that, like, I like that, and I think that it represents who I am. And, like, the idea that I have to be this consistent thing forever because I told a Spren one time that was a truth in the moment.
Yeah.
I've been very vulnerable about things that just aren't true anymore. I used to have insecurities that it would have been a big truth for me to reveal that just I'm not insecure about anymore because I'm 30 now and I don't care.
Even Shallan has progressed so far as a person with pattern as her Spren that, like, the fact that would break the bond with pattern doesn't make sense. People change, and therefore I agree with EK in the chat. Personally, I preferred if the explanation was not in the book, because then you could leave it open to interpretation. We could argue, oh well, maybe it's because she's a child, maybe it's because Testament didn't consent, like maybe it's because of this. Them trying to, like, reason it out here. The reason that I'm rejecting this is because I'm like, well, maybe they don't have enough information, because I'm struggling to make sense of what happened here.
Anyway, she hugs Testament and the chapter ends.
Yeah.
I'm always like, how is our show 3 hours? And then we talk.
Well, but this is so interesting.
Oh, no, I know. I'll be back.
Okay, bye. Chapter 2 is taking the next step. Let's see, Nerdy in 10 years rebranding himself as the artist. No, it's just when you find something that sticks, it's really it's very satisfying, you know. Shallan started as my favorite character and ended up probably barely in my top 10. I actually still find Shallan to be one of my favorite characters because of how she interacts with the world. However, I will say that the lore and, like, most special girl-ism that is really seeping into the last 2 books is not my favorite. I would say Shallan is one of my favorite characters of all time, up to and including Oathbringer, and now more recently I'm kind of like, whoa, okay, there is a lot happening here. Anyways, it's Hurontario and Kaladin is with his family. That he's playing with his little brother. Sorry, excuse me. They're trying to figure out, you know, why the lashings have changed so much with the tower light. So yeah, they basically are like, oh no, the whole tower is consistently infused, like it's like one big giant sphere. A Syl, again, full size. They have, like, a code where Syl is like, if I'm all one solid color, then only you can see me. But if I have, like, certain different colors on me, then everyone else can see me. And Syl has recently taken to making herself visible to everybody a lot more often. I
liked the color coordination of, like, if I'm purple, they can see me. But if I'm blue, I'm being a little creep.
And then Kaladin has a nice moment with his dad.
That's
and his
sweet.
dad is like, actually, you know what? I would give you some fatherly advice, but it's very clear that you know more than I do, and I was wrong. And I appreciated that, you know? We love a parental figure who can apologize and learn and grow, because I don't know what that feels like.
No, I agree. I loved it. This chapter, like, it's one of those interesting things where it's completely unnecessary, but it's so sweet that I appreciate it being here.
Yeah, again, feels very appropriate for the end of book 4.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it's here. But I am glad that it made it into the story.
No, I completely agree with that. Like, I think that it's worthy of being in the Stormlight Archive.
Yeah.
It's a strange start to this book.
Yeah.
But once you kind of get through all of day 1, and you kind of like see that like the all of day 1 is just Brandon Sanderson giving Kaladin his like goodbyes. I'm
like, you can't kill him yet. He's not done. Ruby Mindchef says, I'm an hour and a half late, but we're just on chapter 2. Cool. You'd think after 4 years I'd know this. Yeah. This is on you
we're
now.
We're consistent.
We are.
We've never changed. We keep saying we're going to change. We keep talking about shortening book club.
The number of times we've been like, we should really try and make book club
2
an
hours.
hour or 90 minutes.
No, we've been like, let's try and get to 2 hours.
Yeah. We should really shorten this. We should really get to the point and stop interacting with.
Yeah.
But that unfortunately is the part about book club that I like. Well, so you guys make it good.
Book club like is never gonna grow.
No, if I was looking on the internet and I found a 3-hour podcast about day one of The Way of Kings, I'd be like, nah, that's a lot of time.
Well, one thing I do find very funny is like someone recently tweeted out, hey, these people are covering the books. And I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't introduce people to this. People shouldn't know about this. People should know about our show.
Oh my God. Like, you guys are used to us. But I don't know. I don't think new people, I don't know what they know. I don't think they would understand what they are signing up for by clicking on this video.
Victor Desana, if you find it on your own, I think that's fair. But I don't think that it should be introduced to people. I think that this should be a thing that you have to find on your own.
Yeah.
I don't think that like we should allow this to be shared.
Linus says it's been a while since we hit 5 hours, and that is true. That is true. I'm proud of us. Hell yeah.
That's true. I'm sure the end of this book will be long.
Tathanis says that the truth you'll have to tell to become a light weaver is I'll never shorten the book club even if I want to.
Aww.
That's sweet.
I can't wait to do 3 hours on Dungeon Crawler Carl reactions.
I saw something, and I don't know if it's true.
What?
But I did see like a post somewhere about Dungeon Crawler Carl getting live action made.
Yeah, I think they're working on it.
Damn. Good for them.
Yeah. This is definitely not the weirdest thing I've introduced people to. That's fair.
Oh boy. I don't know what that says. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm excited to read Dungeon Crawler Carl. We have the first book. I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah. Chapter 3? Yeah, because we got to the Lyran stuff. Chapter 3! Back to Shallan.
We just get more recap on. There's a lot of recap in the first half of the Shallan stuff.
Yeah. Which I'm not gonna lie, as someone who's been a second since we read the last book, it was kind of nice.
So we need to understand now that Vale isn't actually gone, even though she disappeared in magic dust. But she's actually just at the back of the bus now, and Radiant and Shallan are at the front of the bus.
Well, no, that's just how people work. Like Vale cannot be gone because Vale is Shallan. Like,
I don't know that that's true.
It is true.
Because that could have been true without it being said. But because we take time to devote a paragraph to explaining this, I feel like this is going to be more relevant than that.
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like if that's what it was, I don't think we would have taken time to explain this, but it feels like this is being explained to us in explicit terms so that something later on will make sense.
Maybe. It's this section is a lot of Shallan being like, I don't know, I'm figuring it out, which like is fair, especially when it comes to like mental health. It's like we are taking this day by day. I will, if I can explain it to you in words, I will try to, but at this point in time, we're just figuring it out.
So we cut over to, not cut over, we walk into a conversation. Wit is on the Sion talking with Kalak and Adolin. And we find out that the Windrunners are coming because the Windrunners can get us there today because thank God. I genuinely, starting this book out, when it said day one, I was like, oh, fuck. Are Adolin and Shallan just going to be out of the plot for like the first half of the book because they're on their way back?
Yeah.
So I'm glad the Windrunners can just get them into it.
Yeah.
So we can get moving. And Wit doesn't tell them anything relevant to anything. Wit leaves out so much important information in this, which is very funny later when Shallan gets the physical arm and is like, wait, what? Navani bonded...
Bondsmith Navani?
Navani did what now?
Oh, shit, okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I am a little sad that in the brief moment we get with Kaladin and Adolin, we don't... Because Adolin doesn't know what happened in the tower, we don't get the moment of Adolin comforting Cal about Teft's death because Adolin knew Teft. And it's just one of those... I thought that we were going to get them coming together over Kaladin's loss a little bit because Adolin has been so good about protecting Cal in those moments.
Yeah.
And so... is what it is. We might get that later. Blues Barros, thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Blues Barros, thank you.
10 gifted memberships.
Thank
10
you so
gifted
much.
memberships.
Lots of reactions this week, and gonna be lots coming up as well for this book. Y'all are hungry for those reactions.
Yeah, starving. Literally starved.
We're feeding. Okay, we're
Yeah, we will get them out earlier this week. Also, sorry that they mostly came out on Thursday. We were flying Wednesday.
we did our best.
Yeah. I
do love that Adolin gets a longer hug for sure.
Yeah. So Shallan is like, hey, are my brothers okay? Wit's like, yeah, they're fine. Also, here I'm gonna send you photos I've drawn of all of the Ghostbloods. So that's, I guess he's had those for a while, and
well, yeah, he's like, fuck Kelsier.
I know, but I don't know why Wit is like, I've taken, well, I don't know. I'm glad he has photos of them. And, yeah, we got a nice moment where Shallan is like, yeah, but like, formless meant that I could be evil. And Wit's like, yeah, but like, if you couldn't be evil, then what would be the point?
Of choosing good, yeah.
Yeah, like if you were just a good person, and the potential to be evil wasn't there, then what's the point of the choices that you make?
Well, exactly, and that's what, like, that's kind of...
Okay, there's no longer books on my tits.
That kind of touches on the discussion in the interlude that we're going to get to, of, like, if you take away the capacity for humans to choose to do evil, then doing good doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. No, it's great. I like Wit acknowledging this with her. I like Wit so much more with Shallan than I do with Kaladin.
Fair.
But it's because it does feel like he's building her up. And with Kaladin, it feels like he's always being a little bit of a...
snarky motherfucker, yeah.
And, so Shallan is like, hey, Kalak, the Ghostbloods really want to know about Bayou Mishram. And he's like, okay, great. We trapped him in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
I can't help you beyond that. Shit's weird there. Good luck. And then he has a panic attack and runs away. And she's like,
that's very normal. He does that all the time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. We get this moment where Maya is like, damn, he used to be so normal. He used
to be pretty cool. And I'm like, wait, you knew him? And she's like, yeah, we met a few times. Yeah.
Clark and I went to war together. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating that Maya's like fully talking now. Like, I don't know. I'm so the Maya of it all is going to be real interesting once Adolin is back in the physical realm, because she has become a character.
Yeah.
And so like, is she gonna talk through the sword? Like, is she gonna stick around, or does Adolin spend most of this book in this? Like, does Maya as a character just cease to be relevant once they're in the physical realm?
No. I think it will be a plot point of Maya getting that physical realm manifestation back. That's not the Shardbag, right? Because we know that she's made this progress and has healed in ways that we like don't really understand. I think that part of that healing is going to be the moment where she does appear in the physical realm and is able to communicate, and that's going to like be a big deal on the journey towards healing.
They are gonna go on a mission to the spiritual realm, I guess.
Yeah, and Pattern is like, you know when I said I didn't think you were gonna kill me? Yeah, I would like to retract that statement. If we're going to the spiritual realm, who the fuck knows what's gonna happen?
We also find out, this is where we find out that the Deadeyes, so the explanation for the Deadeyes starting to exist at a certain point, because I was like, this doesn't make sense, right? I've been consistent that Radiants had to have broken their bonds prior to the...
This is what we said. Yeah. We were like, there was something different about this moment, and it is because Ba Ado Mishram was captured.
Yes, and so but we also went into... We had a lot of conversations with y'all during Rhythm of War, where people in chat were like, no, the Spren... After the We Chose moment, I was like, but they didn't choose to die, because they didn't know that was going to happen. Yeah. And people were like, no, they did, in chat. And I want to call you out, because you were wrong. They didn't know they were going to die. They thought it was a survivable thing. Yeah. And they found out afterwards it wasn't survivable. So the intent
because I don't think Ba Ado Mishram had ever been captured before.
The intent was not to make Deadeyes.
No.
At all.
No.
So we still don't know what the intent was?
I actually think that the intent was to stop Radiance from existing.
Yes.
Because we've been seeded that the Radiant powers are what is breaking Roshar. Like what is like is that the Radiant powers were bad from the planet that humans left, and therefore are also bad for the planet they were on now.
Yeah.
And so I think that the Radiants tried to make the choice of breaking the oaths and not having Radiance anymore, and it totally backfired. They didn't know they'd be killing Spren, right? Like if you were like...
What if... No. I'm having a thought. I'm having a thought.
Okay.
What if... I'm trying to think how this book ends, right?
Oh.
I want to get ahead of things.
We want to predict so that we can be like, haha, we were right.
What if Adolin is the champion?
Of who?
The fight.
Of
Dalinar's
Honor?
champion.
Interesting.
Because he's not a Radiant. What if that's what this is leading to? The Radiants are the problem, and so a Radiant can't solve the problem. And so Adolin has to be the champion because he's literally the only main character left who isn't a Radiant.
Yeah.
But if the Radiants are destroying things, what if Dalinar comes to, like, what if the discovery is that if a Radiant, I guess it doesn't matter. No, this is dumb.
No, it's not dumb. I think you're onto something, especially because we know that the Radiants are bad for the planet. But
why would that matter to the Contest of Champions? Like, the Contest of Champions is a one-off thing in 10 days.
We don't know what the contest is.
Yeah.
We don't know if the contest is save the world, save the cheerleader, save the world, and Adolin's like, well, I'm not a Radiant, so I guess I can actually...
God, I hope this ends better than Heroes ended. Jesus Christ.
R.I.P. That was the writer's strike, though, right? That's why it fell apart?
One of the worst fall-offs of... Because, God, that first season is so good.
I know.
Nathan Petrelli.
Goddamn.
I love Heroes.
Yeah, it was such a good show. I haven't watched that shit in so long.
I don't know that I could, knowing... Because I know how bad it gets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that was... I'm not gonna lie. I think that Heroes was my first superhero franchise. I think I saw Heroes before I saw any other, like, superhero...
Wow.
Movie.
You didn't watch any, like, you didn't see, like, Spider-Man in 99, or?
No, that's not true. I did watch the
Tobey
Maguire Spider-Man. That is correct.
I was like, wow, you missed, like, that was, like, the movie of the year. Yeah.
That is fair. But no, like, I didn't watch Fantastic Four.
Was Spider-Man 2000 and X-Men 99? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think I had also watched an X-Men movie until I was, like graduated high school. But I know that Heroes was, like, while I was still in school, so...
God, I love Heroes.
Yeah.
Hayden Panettiere, man.
Oh, I know.
And then I watched that fucking Nashville show for her, even though I didn't like it, but I just loved her so much. So...
Wow. Savory calling me out in chat. Rude.
Are you guys surprised?
I thought it'd be fun, okay? And it wasn't the first Halo game that I played, because I did play the co-op Halo in one of the Halos where they say, infected, and they have the sword and you try and get your friends.
Yes.
So...
Chapter 4, Listening. Kaladin flies up through Urithiru and has a moment where he's like, the last time I did this was to kill the pursuer. And he pops up, and Syl is addicted to Navani now. And so when she's in proximity, is like, Navani.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
kind of weird.
Cal's like, she'll be
right.
back. She just has to go sniff the bondsmith.
Yeah.
Poor Navani is like, I just want to have sex with my husband, but all these spread keep showing up and smelling me.
They won't leave me alone!
It's like, Navani's life now is like everyone with pets who's like, just like banging it out, and then you look over and the cat's in the corner just staring at you getting laid. Yeah.
Well, and spren are like popping up all the time now. So whatever sexy spren show up, they're like really showing up now.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The cum spren are just floating everywhere.
Yeah, it's rough. Especially because they're glad to be alive and like not under oppression.
They have to get their bond sniff. Well done, Niall.
Yeah.
Very funny. So then we talk to Whit. Whit is like, hey, I actually need you to learn how to play the flute in 10 days because that is how it's gonna... At some point, Kaladin is gonna have to play the rhythm of Roshar on the flute, and that's gonna be very relevant to the plot.
Well, because that's how people immigrated from the other planet to here.
Yeah. The music was the compass that they used to get from Braze, or not from Braze, from the other one to here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And...
Yeah. And also now we have Adenalcium magic from before he was broken into shards. So there's more...
Yes. Ashen, thank you.
More magic stuff, which I guess is meant to be the wind.
So Dalinar is in a meeting, and Whit gives Kaladin a 1-hour flute lesson.
Yeah.
And Syl is like, hey, I know that song. That's crazy.
Is this a real flute, chat, or is this a recorder?
I think it's a recorder. I don't think it's actually a flute. I think it's like a pan flute or something like that. Because there's no way he's learning to play the flute in 10 days without a teacher.
Isn't the pan flute the like whistly?
Yeah, but you just have to blow into it. It has to be a kind of flute that you just blow into and it works. There's just simply no way that he's going to develop the mouth shape necessary to play an actual flute.
It's the jazz flute.
There's just no way. It has to be some sort of like recorder, like you just blow into it and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Whit, what?
Chat.
It's the Ocarina of Time.
Chat's trolling. Yeah.
I did whistle some Ocarina of Time while we were listening to this chapter. So then Whit is like, it is old. The wind is real. It's old magic that Adenalcium made for this planet and only this planet, I think.
Well, no, there's wind on other planets.
I know, but this is the only place where like those things are alive. Like no other planet has Spren. Concepts aren't alive on other planets, which implies that the Spren are like invested by like Adenalcium investiture. They were created by Adenalcium. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe.
And yeah, this scene.
Whit getting so upset about the passions as a religion was very funny to me.
Yeah. Whit referencing Sazed and saying that he wants to meet Sazed, but specifically hasn't met Sazed, is interesting, especially because he is present in scenes that Sazed is in.
All Hoyt has to do is pierce his ear while he's on Scadrial.
But specifically, like, Hoyt is driving the carriage while... Like...
But Sazed's never present, he just is in the earring.
Yeah, but it's just funny to me that Whit is like, I'd love to meet that Sazed guy, but we've watched chapters where Whit is listening into half of a conversation with Sazed. Because I'm fairly certain that Wax speaks out loud.
Oh, yeah.
And Sazed can hear him.
Yeah.
And so Whit has been sitting in a carriage listening to a conversation with Sazed.
Yeah, 100%.
Many times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just hasn't met him yet.
But, yeah, we get the full experience of Whit in this chapter. All of my least favorite things about him and all my favorites. My least favorites being that he is like, everywhere makes art. There's no culture anywhere in the galaxy that doesn't make art. Art is so important. Art's the fucking tits. And then he's like, I'm so sorry you had to listen to me be self-important there for a second. And I'm like, Brandon, just you don't have to apologize for it. Just if you want to write your like meta commentary about the importance of art again, just write it. You don't need to then follow it up by acknowledging that it's
sorry you
self-important.
had to listen to me.
Because that's not for Kaladin, that's for us, and whatever. But on the flip side, Wit does actually reveal some interesting things, and is like kind to Kaladin, and is trying to impart something valuable to Kaladin, which I appreciate. But then we go back to the like not great stuff, where Wit is just like, I'm just gonna spoil what's gonna happen. Here's plot stuff that is going to happen later in this book. It's relevant.
Yeah.
And I didn't need that explained to me as much. So this was a hit and miss for me personally. But.
Yeah. I liked a lot of it, especially like feeling like I understood Wit's worldview a bit better.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Right? Like actually kind of understanding what his feelings are on things, especially regarding the passions, right?
Yeah.
And being like, what, you think that the people who died just didn't want to not starve hard enough? That's absurd. He's like, that's a fucking insult to everybody else. It's just like sometimes shit happens.
But he's also like Yasna is so smart, but she's so dumb. And I was like, that's something I say about my wife all the time.
Yeah, and I agree.
They're in a real relationship.
Yeah, they get it.
At the point where you're willing to mock your partner, but people know you're not being mean, that's when relationships are real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
But I am nothing like Yasna, let's be honest.
You're a lot like Yasna. You have giant tits.
Where? Why can't I find them? God damn it.
And yeah,
I'm a little bit like petty like Yasna, like how the way that she embarrassed that dude in the middle of the meeting. I was like, that's something that I would find very funny.
yeah, no, that's
even
true.
if it's not like the right thing to do.
Titania says, Nerdy, you never talked to a normie about some random nerdy shit that you love and then apologize because you did.
We don't talk to normies.
Well, no, I do, but I don't apologize for it. I'm like, you should know this. Why don't you know this?
Yeah.
No, it's not about talking about nerdy shit. I've apologized for like going on about something that I don't think something else that they would find interesting. And I'm like, oh, you're being nice by listening to me. It's specifically that what Wit is going on about is how like important what he does is. And that's what I don't like talk to people and go on and be like, yeah, but like acting is like the hardest job in the world.
Yeah, I'm like a YouTuber and like I make the world so much better by being a YouTuber.
I make fun of those people who are like, guys, streaming is actually harder than manual labor. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Shut the fuck up. The guy doing the renovations in my house works harder than I do. We need to be real clear about that. Like, you know what I mean?
He just doesn't work longer than we do because we don't support
I work a lot of hours, but like the idea that like my job is harder than a plumber's or more important than a plumber's because I make art. Guys, I'm telling stories about the human condition. And like I mock those actors.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna mock Hoyt for it.
Yeah, fair.
Just realistically. Like
yeah.
I make fun of actors who take themselves that seriously because it isn't that serious. It's beautiful and I think art's an amazing thing and it should exist and we should strive to be better at it. But like it isn't more or less valuable than any other job. It is just as valuable as other jobs.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just laugh at him because I would laugh at him if he was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who do that, by the way. I'm not like, you know.
No, yeah. These are people that we know.
Yeah. I think that's
where we're like, oh.
I think that might be a big part of it. I think that one of the things that I don't like about how Wit does this is that some of the people I know do this and I cringe. But if you don't interact with those kind of artists regularly, you're like, oh, like this is an interesting person I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm like, these people drive me crazy.
Yeah, that I think our like closeness to that subject matter definitely affects our perspective on it.
Hoyt reminds me of my least favorite teachers in acting school.
Yeah.
Who are like, we need to sit down and really acknowledge what we're doing here today as we are reading these scenes. This is the important work of humanity. And you're like, my guy, I'm doing a fucking scene about how I cheated on my girlfriend. This is not the important work of humanity.
Yeah, I do think in a weird way, though, like, Hoyt is like a little
bitch?
No, yeah. Is like kind of like weirdly inconsistent because like I know I know those people who are that side of Hoyd.
Yeah.
But also Hoyd acknowledging that side of himself exists, like, kind of softens it for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because those people that we know in real life don't actually acknowledge that. They are not clued into it
They're usually not, yeah.
Yeah.
Chapter 5, what still might be... Dalinar walks out at the end of the hour. Basically, the joke at the end of this is that Kaladin thought that Dalinar was in a meeting for an hour, but actually Hoyd asked Dalinar to wait an hour so that Hoyd could
teach
give
him the
flute lessons. Mm-hmm. Chapter 5.
Honestly, great joke. Loved it.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Shallan finds out that only 12 honor spren are going to come join the war effort. Nodum is like, I don't want to go to war, so I'm going to stick around and try and keep convincing people. I'm also maybe going to sail a ship again, which is what I want to be doing.
This conversation was super interesting because Nodum's like, actually, like, the idea of, like, bonding a radiant makes me physically ill. And Shallan is like, okay, well then, like, don't do that. He's like, but I feel like I need to do something. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
You can still do things without bonding a radiant. If this is not something that you want, don't fucking do it. Like,
yeah, this conversation is so good. And also, I now understand why this book is so long. Because we are really getting into the weeds of, like, what we have to get into everybody's perspective on things.
Yeah.
This conversation is entirely unnecessary. It's interesting and it's good. But when you tell me, like, this book is so long that they had to change the printer, I'm like, oh, I get it. We're just shoving everything into it.
Yeah.
And which isn't a criticism of the book. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
But, like, there are conversations like this where I'm like, oh, this is just, like, a conversation about an idea that takes place in this world.
I also am pretty sure that more than 12 spren actually do go off into the physical realm.
Probably.
Because Shallan is like, oh, Lucentia's not here. That's interesting. But then I'm pretty sure that Syl is like, oh, that's Lucentia. I hate her. Mm-hmm. So there are definitely more honor spren that left to the physical realm. They just did it, like, secretly, I guess. Yeah. So very interesting. And I do love fucking Syl being so petty. It's like, oh my god, yeah, she's so boring. I hate her. Like,
Ruby Mindtrap says, haha, personally, I'm happy to read the unnecessary conversations. Oh, I'm not, again, I'm not criticizing the book for having them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that
we get why it's this long now.
We're only 5 chapters in, and I'm already like, oh, this is just here to talk about something you wanted to talk about. This doesn't move anything.
Yeah.
And in a book that is 500,000 words, to just sort of, like, have moments of things just sort of being talked about because the book is long. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, we're just going to kind of, like, go through conversations where people kind of talk about how they're feeling about their lives. Mm-hmm. They're interesting conversations.
Yeah.
But it is sort of like, okay, yeah, good for you, Nodum. If Nodum never comes back, I won't be surprised. Like, if he does come back, I won't be surprised. But I don't know that I don't know that I needed to know that Nodum feels physically ill at the thought of bonding humans. Like, it's a interesting character quirk about the 156th most important character in these books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's fascinating. I'm curious, because this book is so long, if I'm going to continue to feel this way, where I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess this is sort of relevant. It's sort of like in Rhythm of War, where it's like, and then we have a chapter where Yasna fights for the first time, and I was like, I don't really know why that was there, but it was interesting. It wasn't a bad chapter by any stretch of the imagination. But when I look back on that book, I still can't figure out why that chapter exists. Like, I don't know why it was relevant to tell me about the first time she fought in Shardplate. We've not seen her do anything since.
True. However, I will say, whatever it is about that chapter, it's one of the ones that I remember the best and one of my favorites.
But do you remember it the best because I've talked about it so much?
No.
Because I brought it up every book club since.
No, it's not that. Like, I actually, like, I feel like I remember, like, the details of that chapter better. Like, it just stuck out to me in a way that, and in an enjoyable way, so I don't know.
Again, it's a good chapter.
Yeah.
Right? It's a good chapter. it's just that it's just not relevant to anything else that happens around it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like change how I feel about Yasna. She like learns that war is hard, but she already knew that. Like it's just a fascinating thing that chapter just kind of exists. And you're right, it stands out. But it stands out because it's one of 2 POV chapters she has in the book, and it doesn't connect to anything. It's just sort of there.
Yeah.
And so some of these conversations are also just sort of here. Like Notam, we got a great conversation with Notam. It's just sort of here. And it's a great conversation, and it's interesting, and he's a cool character. And
then we move on to Shallan using new magic powers that she doesn't know about.
No, but she's using powers she's always had.
She's always had them. She just didn't know. She just didn't know it was magic.
We didn't know that her ability to draw was an ancient power of the universe.
An ancient power of fortune.
Not only does Shallan have 2 Spren bonds, and not only is she one of the original Lightweavers of her generation, and not only is she the best at it,
and not only is she married to Adolin,
but on top of that, she also draws using capital F fortune, the magic power of ancient abilities to see the future.
I guess, yeah. Because Kalek is like, oh, that's a picture of me. Wow, that's super cool. How do you peer into people's future selves and draw what they could be? And she's like, the fuck you talking about, bro? I just like popped into my brain. Yeah. And he's like, huh, do you do this often? And she's like, yeah. He's like, interesting. Well, I'm gonna go fuck off now. I'm not coming with you.
In a world where there are so many superpowered people now, Brandon Sanderson really wants us to know Shallan is the most superpowered.
Yeah.
Like, we just gotta know she's the most superpowered.
Yeah.
She's the most special girl.
Yeah.
Hopefully in this book she does something with that, but yeah, she is more special than the other special people.
I mean, well, they're gonna go to the spiritual realm, which I'm assuming is connected more so to the old magic and so maybe Shallan is gonna be the only person who can actually find Ba'edo Mishram.
Yeah, Linus...
Because if she's connected to fortune, and the reason that Pattern says that the reason the spiritual realm is harder to navigate is because past, present, future are all kind of blended into one, her having a connection to fortune and seeing futures or whatever it is might be what gets them through it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That makes too much sense to not be what happens. You're right. No, I didn't even pull that together. Linus Fiction says, to be fair, I think the fact that she is bonded to 2 Sprens is why she can draw upon fortune to some degree. But I think she was drawing on fortune before she had Pattern.
I don't know. Well, before she had Pattern, yes.
So I don't think it's that she had 2 Spren bonds. I think she's been able to do this since she was drawing as a kid.
It's hard to know because she's definitely drawn for a long time.
She learned to draw from a book, which feels like a magic power to me, so... She read a book.
I mean, people...
And then was able to draw.
People are resourceful.
Oh, 100%. But she read a book and then was able to draw. That sounds like magic to me.
Yeah.
As someone who can't draw. Drawing sounds like magic. Honestly, being good at art is magic to me.
Yeah, I fucking can't draw. I can trace real nice.
And then we get to the best thing Brandon Sanderson has ever written, which is that she's like, all right, we're going to leave. It's a shame that Adolin can't bring his horse. And then Adolin walks over and goes, how many people to bring the horse?
Yeah.
And she's like, this is my fucking husband.
And then we hard cut
to him
standing, gallant, like slow, like running, like or like Simba in The Lion King across the fucking deserts. And like Adolin is like,
but he's standing, he's not sitting, he's standing in the saddle.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking living his best life.
Yeah.
This was so funny.
Yeah, it was great.
It's so funny and so cute. It's why he's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Also him being like, I need all of my weapons. And she's like, why? They're so heavy. This one weighs as much as a person. He's like, it's 7 pounds. He's like, I know the exact weight. Also the fact that he pulls a mace out and she's like, yeah, I guess
he had a mace.
And my fucking husband.
He throws a mace. Like, he throws a mace.
Oh, we'll get to it. So the plan is, the Windrunner Drehy shows up. They're going to fly to Azamir. And that's where they're going to pass through to the other side.
Yeah.
Cut back to Dalinar and Kaladin conversation at Urithiru. Basically, Dalinar is like, hey, I know that Hoyd just asks you to learn how to play the flute in 10 days. But
you also need to provide therapy to Zeth while he goes and cleanses his people. Question mark. Don't know
if you could fix him and the insane Ishi at the same time while inventing therapy, a word that Kaladin just learned because Hoyd was like, "Yeah, you're a therapist. You just don't know it yet."
One. Yeah, first therapist on Rashar. Well done. 10 out of 10.
Goofy, but at least it was Hoyd saying it.
Yeah.
Calling him a therapist is just weird to me. I don't think it's the right word yet. I just don't. I don't think it's the right word for this world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on it, but Hoyd calling Kaladin a therapist was strange. Yeah. Almost as strange, but not quite almost, as the very strange thing, which is that Dalinar is like, I need to acknowledge that race is a social construct.
Construction.
It doesn't matter that there's an in at the end. Dalinar using social construction as a way of describing race felt so strange to me.
Yeah, but I understand how he reasoned it out. So when he first said those words, I was like, if he had said social construct, I would have been like, But the fact that I'm like, oh yeah, it makes total sense that Dalinar is calling this thing a social construction because those are the words that make sense. Like, what would you rather him...
Victor Desanda does say he was alone with Yasna for months. So yeah, maybe Yasna is the one that came up with the terminology.
I just think that if you take the concept and break it down, like, that term just kind of makes sense for it. I don't know what else you would call it.
James Ross, that's not your best work. That's his niece. That's weird, my guy.
I think he means Hoyd. Not Dalinar.
No, they're talking about Dalinar.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. James, I love you, bud. I don't think... Yeah, okay. James, we were all talking about Dalinar and Yasna, and you were like, yeah, she jerked him off. Which actually does feel like a very book club thing to exist. So maybe that was your best work.
We'll throw that in a smut corner.
We try not to do incest on our show.
Yeah.
We don't do incest. That's one of the things we don't put into.
Yeah, we're not George R. R. Martin. That's true.
If we did, when Winds in Truth, when Winds of Winter, oh my god, comes out, we will book club it, and then we can add then we can smut corner incest all we want because it's relevant.
Great. Yeah. Love that for us? Question mark. God damn it.
Yeah.
If. Big if. Dalinar is basically like, I have decided that the light eyes, dark eyes thing is just made up by people and has no, basis. And Kaladin's like, yeah, I'm glad we got there, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
Which, here's the thing. We talked about this in the reaction, so I will say it here as well. Yeah. I do understand why Dalinar, growing up with these, like, myths and propaganda that, like, you know, people's eyes turn light when they, like, earn a shard blade. And, like, there are all these things around the eyes being different colors. That isn't propaganda.
That is just the thing that happens.
Well, I know, but the propaganda around it is the reasons behind it. That they become noble. They become better. They are a better person. That, like there are things around it. It, like, the visual cue for it is why the propaganda works, right? Because people, like, see, like, that there's a difference between light eyes and dark eyes. And so, that, like, Dalinar bought into it for his whole life until he realized that it was just people who made that shit up. It wasn't gods that made that shit up. It's just people who use it as a reason to conquer and oppress.
No. That I agree with.
Yeah.
It is interesting to me how Dalinar is willing to say this now, but isn't going to do anything to change it.
Well, Dalinar's only got 10 days left to live, you know? It's tough to accomplish a lot in that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At least he thinks it, I guess. Dalinar's trying to be sweet, where he's like, I want you to be... Guys, this chapter, I hate to say this, but this chapter was very funny to me. Like, I found this conversation funny in that I found it, like... Basically, Dalinar is like, I need you to take Zeth the first part of it that's funny is that Dalinar's like, I need you to go with Zeth to Shinovar, and I know that you're inventing therapy, so I need you to, like, do therapy in 10 days on this incredibly broken man. I think it's really important that you figure out therapy really fast. That, to me, was just funny as a concept. The idea of, like, doing therapy on someone who is so deeply traumatized in 10 days is just, like, I find that to be a funny thing to write into a book. Then Dalinar is like, but also, none of my sons want to be my heir. They don't want to be the king of Urithiru. Whatever future sight Renarin has says that it shouldn't. And I think that that's fine. And then he's like, I want you to be the heir to the like throne of Urithiru because nobility is important. And I was like, why does Urithiru need to have a king if Navani dies? Just structurally. If you lose, if we really think about this, right? If Dalinar loses the Contest of Champions, everyone's fucked. Like, everybody's so fucked. And if Dalinar wins, I guess it's more if Dalinar wins and then dies. But, like, the idea of him being like, we need to turn this throne that I just invented a year ago, and we need to have succession is, I don't know. I also just, I love Kaladin. I think he's a great character. I just don't know why Dalinar thinks for any second Kaladin would be good at the job of being king. He is not a, like, structural or management-oriented person. He is a great hype man. He's a fantastic hype man. But, like, Kaladin knows nothing at all about running shit. And look, I understand monarchy's not a system that I agree with, right? But at least kids who grew up to be princes were brought into the process of understanding what it was going to take for them to run the country at some point, right? That was like part of their upbringing. They sat in on shit. And by the time they took over, they were kings who had been raised in a system that helped them understand what it was going to mean to be king. Kaladin just isn't that guy. Love him. Great dude. Stand-up guy. Doesn't know shit about shit. Like, genuinely doesn't know anything.
No, but it's not. So I don't actually think it's about Kaladin being the most qualified person for the job. I actually do think that it is Kaladin having the reputation that he has, especially after saving Urithiru, right? Because if Dalinar becomes Odium's champion,
mm-hmm.
I think that he believes it instating. No, is that a word?
Yeah.
Kaladin as, like, the leader of Urithiru, that people will love him and follow him and respect him. And
well, no, if Dalinar becomes the champion of Odium, he's still king.
No, he leaves.
But he's still
right?
the king of Urithiru.
No, but
because he's still alive.
He has to go.
Right.
He has to go fight the Cosmere War.
No, he just becomes king under Odium. But he's still alive. He would still be king. Like, Kaladin doesn't take over if Dalinar is alive.
I think that weirdly in, like, this moment in, like, history, that Kaladin would be the person for the job because people will follow him without question, right? The one thing that we learn in previously when Gavilar, like, brings all the Alethi people together is that after he's gone, how does Elhokar manage to keep those people together and from squabbling and stuff like that? Kaladin is the person who can potentially keep Urithiru and the Radiants together because he is beloved. It's not really maybe that he's qualified in terms of politics, but the people will see him as a leader, and I think that is just more important in the aftermath of Dalinar's death. Potentially. I
don't necessarily even agree with what you just said. I just think it is just because I think that Dalinar would, just because their system is so racist, Dalinar would have to change that first. And there would be a lot of people who would not be okay with Kaladin being like, I'm a dark-eyed person who is now king, and I'm going to change all of our systems to not empower Dark Eyes, or to empower Dark Eyes beyond what they have been.
But he would then be beloved by the people.
By the Dark Eyes, yes, but not by the people who have all the money.
Okay.
I think that Dalinar is setting up Kaladin to either have to rule over a system that he hates, or to fail to change that system. Not that it would be changeable, because Urithiru isn't a kingdom. Like, there's so many reasons why.
It's a city. It's a kingdom.
This scene felt like Brandon Sanderson wanted to have the Dalinar father-son moment with Kaladin that is so sweet and that I love about it. Yeah. So I want to acknowledge, I love the relationship of this scene, while I think that the implications of it are really strange and weird and kind of like funny to me. And those two things they're competing in this scene for me. I think the Dalinar Kaladin stuff, where like they're acknowledging their relationship and what they mean to each other and what they've been through, is awesome. And also the weirdness of this throne, which is like, if the war ends, I don't know how much of a country this is going to be. I like, Urithiru is essentially a base more than it is a country. Right now, it mostly houses people from other countries. Like, there aren't citizens of Urithiru. I'm not really sure I understand what Dalinar is king of.
Well, the Radiants.
Some of the Radiants.
No, he's basically...
Well, I mean, none of the Skybreakers. Like, literally some of the Radiants.
Oh, well, yeah, because
there are whole Radiant orders that aren't under him. So, like, Urithiru as a kingdom is just such a weird concept that he's more of an administrator of a go-between between countries rather than king of a country.
I mean, there are plenty of, like, people that were, like, kings of, like, their cities, right? Like, they have their own leadership separate.
100%, but Urithiru doesn't function as its own city. Urithiru currently is where Alethi people live while they're waiting to go home. Like,
but it can function as a city.
It could in the future. It just, Dalinar declared himself king over a building, not over a people. And I don't know who Dalinar is king of. Right? I don't really know. The entirety of the premise of him being the king of Urithiru is strange. And so for him to be so, like, him to have this desire to set up a line of succession to be king of something that is like a concept right now and isn't actually a kingdom yet, it's just very strange.
There has to be a line of succession, right? If he dies and there's no one else to take it up, then what happens? Will people fight over it? That's bad. He's got to name somebody.
First of all, I think that the Radiants should choose who their king is. I also think that sending someone off on a mission that is near suicide is a weird way to set up your heir. To be like, I want you to be my heir. Also, I need you to go to a war zone where we don't know what's going on and you might not come back from, despite the fact that you have PTSD. It's people are saying like, king of anyone who lives in the city. But you're not king of people who live in the city. Very importantly, you are not king of the people who live in the city. You're king of the city. The people who live there currently have a queen and want to go home, right? These people are. It's like
not
saying that there's a king of.
Is from Alethkar.
But the majority of them are, and it's like saying that someone is the king of the UN. Legitimately, it's like saying that someone is king of the United Nations.
But that's a bunch of nations, and Urithiru is.
But that's what Urithiru is, right? Currently, right now, that's what it is. No one is from Urithiru. No one has lived there. No one has lived there for more than a year.
Okay.
Like, there aren't people from Urithiru.
Okay.
No one is an Urithiru citizen. They are all from somewhere else. Every single person in Urithiru is from somewhere else.
Okay, but if I move to Germany, then I am now under, like, German leadership.
Sure. Yeah.
So all the people who live there, until they go back to Alethkar, they are citizens of Urithiru.
No. That's not how that works in our world.
Well, yeah, we take in refugees and they become Canadian citizens.
Nope, they don't. That is a very long process that takes a lot of time.
Well, yeah,
You're not just. I know, but I'm saying that
like,
the city has been there for a year. The Vatican, guys, you guys are bringing up the Vatican, doesn't have a king. Importantly, does not have a king. There is no king of the Vatican. There is the head of the church, which is chosen by the church. That is so different from a king. The Pope doesn't just go like, hey, I need you to come up to the roof with me. I want you to be the next Pope. That's not how it works.
One day, son, all this will be yours.
Dalinar is a military man. He needs a clear chain of command. I do get that. I do get it. I just think being like, hey, I need you to be... The function of this scene is very strange to me.
I just don't know what else you would expect from them. Like, this just, it makes sense. Like, of course they would want, like, someone to take over if something happens so that, like, it didn't put other people in really awful positions. Yeah. It's like not writing a will and then making your children deal with it.
I know, but it's like saying that, like, hey, I want you to be the executor of my will. Uh-huh. I need you to go to the Antarctic and solve ice.
Okay.
I might die while you're gone.
Okay.
And no one will know where you are.
I don't see
or
the
have
problem.
any way of getting in touch with you.
Okay.
If you're going to set someone up as your heir...
He says if Kaladin's not there, they have a backup. They literally have a chain of command. Like, if Kaladin's not there, there is someone underneath of him.
Yeah. I there's just so much of this that I found very strange. I think that I like the relationship dynamics of it. I do. I genuinely like the relationship dynamics of it. I just wish that Dalinar had done more for dark-eyed people before this moment so that it felt a little bit more culturally earned and not just that it's like, you're okay because you're a Light Eyes now. But yeah, I don't know.
We already have too many plot threads, though. Like.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
So I don't know why you want to add more.
Well, no, I wish this had happened earlier. I wish that the dark-eyed stuff had grown out of Dalinar changing from the moment where Dalinar frees the slaves at the end of book 1. Mm-hmm. I wish that it had been more visible what Dalinar was intentionally doing to break down the dark-eyed, light-eyed divide in the background of these books, or in the foreground, as opposed to it being like paid lip service to every once in a while, but not ever be plot relevant. Because it gets into the weird thing of like the slavery of these books is so strange because we're fighting our former slaves. You know what I mean? Like the people that were mistreated by our main characters there for 3,000 years are now the enemies because the gods are bad, but the gods have to be bad because if the gods aren't bad, then worse things happen. We'll get into that part when we get to the interludes, but like there's just a really weird level of like storytelling down from the gods down about how like racism is necessary.
What? I don't know how you got that.
Odium and Cultivation have a conversation about how Taravangian is like, we should have stepped in, you three should have stepped in sooner and changed these systems. And Cultivation is like, if we had changed the systems, what would have happened? Worse things. And Taravangian is like, yeah, you're right. I can see that. It's weird. It's a weird...
And then he says, I can do better. Like, it's weirdly enough, Taravangian Odium is the bad guy, but Taravangian Odium is not the bad guy because Cultivation also sucks. Like,
I don't know what Brandon Sanderson wants me to get out of it. Like, because I agree with you. Like, Cultivation sucks now. And I'm like, oh, okay, so like the gods just felt like they had to uphold slavery and racism because
or just not interfere in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know, but like if Taravangian actually wants to change the systems, I'm down for that. Like I weirdly got out of that chapter. I'm like, no, I want Taravangian to break this shit.
Yeah, but then Taravangian will just make everybody on Roshar a slave to fight in his war in the Cosmere. So I don't know how much better that actually is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. It is the problem with all of these stories being about gods who can see the consequences of their actions before they make them.
Well, and I think, like, you know, everyone is saying that, like, all the gods kind of suck. Even Sazed isn't doing a great job. And I just think that it goes to... I think that really the message here is that too much power in the hands of one being, entity, person, whatever it may be, is never the answer. It is about people who come together to make things happen, not about one person stepping in and waving a magic wand.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the religious idea of scaring people into being good people versus people just being good and choosing to do good because it is the right thing to do, you know?
Yeah, you're right. This has been a long book club. I'm sorry, I am just on one today. I have so many ideas. Starting Wind and Truth has opened my mind to talking about things. I don't even know if like I've represented my own thoughts very well. I'm like trying to talk through some feelings here.
I think that there's been so much information.
It's true.
At the beginning of this book, because again, it feels like the denouement of the previous book, that there is so much that we could really get into, and that we've tried to do, and still are maybe not even doing it justice.
Yeah.
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 Pinky Armando is loving it. So
it's such a fascinating like book in like the I like a lot of the relationship dynamics, but a lot of the like reveals I'm like, oh, why? Okay, all right, yeah, sure. Why are we retconning that? Sure, okay, we're making this way more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, some of the things I don't understand at all, and like some of them, I'm so glad that they're here. I'm so glad that they're included in the story, even if I think maybe it's a weird spot for them. But I'm also not an author. I can only critique from my perspective as just a reader, just someone who likes stories, and that's about it. That's all I got to offer.
Yeah.
Chapter 7 is Lost Blades. Which is, I believe, that's referring to the like Deadeye friend who go back into the ocean.
Yeah, we find out that if the Deadeyes have been forgotten for long enough, they
just kind of cease to
exist in the physical realm.
Yeah,
and the swords cease to exist, and so they're just dead-eyed at the bottom of the ocean.
In the ocean, yeah.
But they also somehow knew about the trial.
Yeah.
Which, sure.
Well, I wonder if, in a weird way, all of the Deadeyes are like have like a thread of connection between them. It's not that Maya told them, but it is that Maya knew, and therefore because there seems to obviously be this magical connection between like the old shard blades and and their physical realm self. So maybe there is a connection between all of the Deadeyes in some way because they all made this choice together. And so no one told them it was going to happen, but they just were aware because they knew through Maya in a way.
Sure.
I don't know. And that's how Maya knows that the blades are like forgotten, right? Because she can see that in them.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I think that, in a little bit of a way, I think Brandon Sanderson's trying to have his cake and eat it too with his magic systems, where he wants to be able to write these like hard and fast rules to the magic systems where like exactly how long a lashing is going to last and we can like measure the time of it. But also magic is sort of this nebulous and weird thing where like anything can happen and it's mystical and we'll never understand it. And I think that the Cosmere starting to have both of those things makes things a little bit nebulous. Or
maybe we'll get an explanation to certain things. But right now there are so many questions that it feels like, don't worry about this right now.
Yeah, and so many magic systems that it feels like anything can happen now. And
anything can happen if you let it.
I do wonder at how you keep once these things, because the magic systems are starting to overlap so much, keeping everything working with each other, I think, is gonna get interesting. Yeah. And like how they interact as we start to bring them together. So like now that breaths are being used by the Ghost Bloods, it's like,
because they're probably from Warbreaker Planet.
But I'm assuming anyone can use breaths.
I don't know.
Well, because Wit can, and he's not from Warbreaker Planet.
No, but Wit is also like a 10,000-year-old god. So I really don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Anyways, Vatha has a crush on a short gothy mommy.
Yeah, I love that he was like, she's like, wow, she's short and like puts tattoos on.
And like,
why would you be attracted to that?
That's
it's like
so crazy.
Men are consistent.
I don't know.
So most of the Vatha and most of Shallan's peeps are going to be traveling slowly back. They're not going to be in the rest of the book. They're going to go the long way. And Shallan, Adolin, the Rashadium, and the Windrunners are going to go to Azamir.
Gallant.
The Rashadium? Yeah. Shallan has another conversation with Kalak, where Kalak sits down to do another exposition dump.
Yep.
Because the 2 chapters ago, he gave one exposition dump about the power of fortune. And now we find out that all light is investiture. And that investiture is also matter. And I don't know, man. Sure.
Yeah. Shoreblood shows up. and like says goodbye to Adolin.
Yeah.
Adolin doesn't know, but it's...
We're not there yet.
Yeah, because they're about to get attacked. This happens before they get attacked.
No, that's on the island with the horses.
The island with the horses.
Yeah.
I thought this was while they were flying. That the Spren come and fly.
No, they haven't left yet. We're not even there yet. We haven't left. This is the second chapter before they leave.
No, this is the chapter where they get attacked.
That is the very end of this chapter.
Yeah.
But they find the horses after. They find the horses on the island later.
What?
The island where they find Gallant after the attack.
I thought it was while they were flying that the Spren showed up.
No, the music Spren... No. They get attacked, they fight, then they go find Gallant, because Gallant gets sent ahead by the lashing.
Yeah.
That's when they find the horses. On the island running with Gallant.
Oh, God, okay.
Yeah, we're not there yet. I know. We have so much more to do, and we're already almost at 3 hours.
Oops.
My tailbone hurts. Yeah, they're going to head for Azamir. They take off. Chapter 8, A Coming Storm. Kaladin and Zeth are like, okay, we're going to take the Oathgate to Azamir. We're going to hop in the storm. We're going to fly to...
Nightblood wants pancakes.
I'm a little worried about Nightblood in this book.
Why?
He's a little goofy. And when it's just him and Zeth, it's one thing. But I'm a little worried about Nightblood and Syl.
Oh, I was like, Nightblood's always been goofy. I don't know, but you think that together they're going to be a problem.
Nightblood has been kept in Stormlight to small moments, and I think that an abundance of Nightblood might feel a bit much in this book.
Maybe they can like put him to sleep, you know?
I'm already like, oh, we're going to get a lot of Nightblood in a 500,000 word book, and I don't know how much Nightblood I actually want. You know what I mean? He's nice as a like... You know, like green onions sprinkled over a teriyaki bowl, but you don't want to like eat a green onion.
What if it's sprinkled on top? Don't you eat it? I eat them.
I know, but I'm not gonna like chow down on a green. I want like I want it to be like a
garnish.
A garnish, not a sauce.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm allergic to pepper. Nightblood is not pepper.
Well, you are allergic to Nightblood. All humans are, because he would suck your life out.
That's true.
Yeah, like you suck mine out. And then, so...
I'm a soul vampire.
Kaladin goes to Leighton. That's not what I was talking about. And is like, hey, bud, can you pack my ruck for me? Because you're so damn good at it. Which is kind of like us, where like I'm really good at packing my bag, and your bag is a nightmare.
No, my bag is nicely packed the first time I packed it. As soon as I have to open it up when we get anywhere to find anything, then it becomes a mess, and it's just like shoved in there.
Okay. I don't know that I fully agree with that, but that's fine.
That's because you have a specific way that you like to pack, and anything that doesn't follow that specific way is a nightmare.
You just don't fold things. You just like
yes,
put stuff in. You put stuff
I roll
places.
up my pants. No, we're not.
You do your pants well. I will give you your pants are done well, but you do kind of shove into bags sometimes.
After I've packed it the first time, that is correct. Yeah. The first packing is always pretty neat.
Anyway, so he finds in his bag a flute. Which flute? He sent these two down. He sent Flute and Tian's toy horse to be packed because he wants to take those with him.
Yeah.
And then there's a mysterious rock.
Lucamore?
Lucamore?
Rock.
Oh.
Wow. It's fine.
Oh my god. Wow, that was dumb. And Nerdy's OCD is showing. I'm just autistic. I don't technically have OCD.
Yeah.
Lunamore.
Sorry. Yeah.
And do you think the rock has anything to do with Zeth?
Zeth? Oh, you think it's an oath stone?
I don't know. Right?
Oh,
where did it come from?
That. I don't know. The wind put it there.
Wasn't the rock the one Tian picked up? Or like it?
Just says that it's like a dull brown rock, and like my first thought was Tian because Tian's toy horse is also there. But if Tian's toy horse is there, why is the rock also there?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I understand the purpose of it yet. But David is gonna become a windrunner very soon.
Yeah, he is. We also go to see Sigil. Sorry, Shallan are attacked. This is the chapter where I was like, this is weird. because Kaladin's like, I'm going to go see Leighton, and I'm going to talk about what's in my bag on my vacation. And then it hard cuts to the honored ones. There's 8 honored ones attacking Shallan and Adolin in the sky.
Heavenly ones, yeah.
And Adolin is trying to fight from horseback. And
just chucks a mace, chucks a dagger, chucks a sword, like...
One of the Drehi's squires gets run through with a spear and is having their energy sucked out of them. And I was like, this is a weird chapter.
Yeah.
Why are these 2 things in the same chapter?
Well, I thought it was deliberately because Kaladin's always the person that's like, what if I'm not there to help people and save them? And in the moment where he's actually relaxing a little bit to go say bye to the Windrunners, there is this, like, horrific attack that's going on.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I thought it was meant to be, like, comedic, if I'm being honest.
I mean, it was pretty horrifying. Adolin is thrown into the ocean and is going to suffocate. So Shallan has to, which I didn't know that they could do this, but it's super interesting. Shallan breathed in the lashing that's on her so that she falls, which is actually like such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like I love that so much. And
I'm just gonna borrow your Stormlight.
She chases Adolin down into the beads. So we cut back to chapter 9. Kaladin's just kind of like walking around. He goes and he's like, "Hey, Scar, how you doing?" Nothing stressful is happening in the world right now.
No, Scar is literally pranking the new recruits. He's throwing their spears out the window.
Sick.
Hilarious.
So sick. I love...
Very funny.
I love the way this plays out. I love the lesson in it. And I do think it's got to be so frustrating as a like military leader to get people who are so old and have to train them on like the basics, right? Like one of the reasons why military's like bringing people so young is because they're moldable. But some of these people, like, it's got to be like weird to have like a 55-year-old woman and be like, I need you to understand basic training.
Yeah.
I need you to commit to this. But he's the man for the job. He's doing a good job.
Yeah.
And he's like, I swear to God, Kaladin, if you leave without saying goodbye to everyone, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna kill you. And so Kaladin goes and he goes to see R'lain, who is now a Radiant. R'lain is like, I still feel too left out. And I'm like, oh my God, R'lain, you're never going to be happy. Let's just admit that you're never going to be happy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he does have like a different corrupted friend. So he is kind of othered in a weird way. But now him and Renarin can be real close.
Yeah, best boys.
Yeah.
And then Syl is like, all right, Kaladin, you've said goodbye to everybody. Let's go get my stuff. There is actually, I don't want to skip this. There is some really sweet stuff here. Kaladin reminisces over everyone he's lost, maps, and like going all the way back to the first book.
Yeah. This
is where like the clips show kind of feeling kind of happens, where you're like, oh yeah, we're really going through all of it, piece by piece.
The montage.
And the celebration is beautiful, and it's just a really nice moment with everyone, and with Sigil being like, I don't know that I can lead, and Kaladin is like, shut the fuck up. It's not about the speeches you give. It's about who you are and how you view people and how you keep them together and, you know, the things that you do to keep the unit together.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then Lopen is like, I can help. And everyone's like, maybe.
Or, yeah.
And we get Lopen's final salute to Cal. And he gives it one-handed.
Yeah.
Which is so sweet.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn.
He also gives... I should have pulled the line. He has a great line where he's like, if you need anything two-handed, a one-handed, a no-handed.
Yeah.
Anything, yeah. It's really, really, like, lovely, sweet final moments with the crew.
Yeah.
Which is why Kaladin probably dies.
I would be pissed, honestly. But,
he's going to become a cognitive shadow.
Great. Kelsier and Kaladin. Just two angry dudes.
I mean, that could happen if Kaladin becomes a herald, right?
Yeah.
Like Kelsier v. Kaladin in the KK. We just need a third K and then we can have the KKK.
No, Kaladin is not white, so it's fine.
It would be the anti-racist KKK. What's an oppressed... We need an oppressed person from another world with a K in their name.
No, that's the same world.
Brandon Sanderson creates the KKK in his Cosmere, but it's the people who go around to different worlds and like defeat racism.
That
the 3 Ks defeating racism around the Cosmere. It's such a dumb joke.
The Shard Boys.
The Shard Boys.
That's great. Shallan tries to rescue Adolin, and she's like grabbing at the beads and like making like buildings and stuff.
She makes a room.
Yeah. He's like, I let the spren fall in because like they're gonna be fine. They can't suffocate, and Gallant just let him go on ahead because I don't think they're gonna give a shit about a horse. We're banking on it, actually.
Oh my god, Blue Sun says Chris is black and the writer of the essays. We could have the anti-racist KKK.
That's
Babu. Thank you for that super chat.
Babu, hi. How are you?
Hey nerds, just took a break from Legend ZA and my temporary unemployment. Sorry about that. To check on my favorite nerds.
Because right, yes. Are you liking it? Nerdy's gonna stream it this weekend. Y'all can
probably tomorrow.
Probably,
we have a dinner tonight, so probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably watch because I just have too much to like get done myself, and I'll watch you stream it and see if I want to like actually give it a try.
Yeah, I was really hesitant on if I even wanted to buy it, but then I was at Costco and it was right there, so I just picked it up because like I don't know that I like how it looks.
Yeah,
but people are saying that it's fun to play,
I'm
and
hesitant.
so if it's fun to play but it doesn't look good, that's fine by me.
Sure.
The graphics don't matter to me as much as like, am I enjoying myself?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Fabu. Good to see you.
Should we have chat pick our Anime Expo Pokemon cosplays?
No. Because they're going to choose really hard ones, and I want to set myself off the wall.
Sure.
And so, Fuse follows Shallan down. His name is Abidi the Monarch. I don't know what he's king of, but he's going to be king of everything, and he's going to keep Shallan and her people around so that they can bleed for him for entertainment, which, damn.
That's fucking, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah, that's a weird, weird thing to enjoy, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Shallan is able to admit a truth about herself, which is that she's always been afraid of the world.
I'm not afraid.
Her family's safety. And she's afraid of herself.
Yeah.
Bop, bop. Fourth ideal.
Yeah.
She'll get her armor later, but for now, she is able to create physical light weaves now that are able to attack and fight.
Yeah.
Even though she's kind of already done this, but...
And apparently it's maybe illegal. I don't know.
Illegal?
Yeah. He said they outlawed it, remember? He's like, I thought you people outlawed
yeah,
this power or whatever.
I mean, there's no legal...
Look, I don't know.
It is interesting, right? You would have to... In a world where radiants exist, you would have to regulate them.
Yeah.
Like, even flight would be regulated.
There's, like, airspace
that's,
like, owned by people, and it's like, you actually just can't fly around because, like, you might, like, hit someone. And now if you're flying ships, like, that's going to be even more dangerous.
But even beyond that, like, you would have, like, Azamir be like, you can't fly here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't... No, we don't want you flying into our country.
Yeah.
And it would be a problem near Thiru, right? Like, hey, like...
Yeah.
Victor Sana says Skybreakers were the regulars. That makes sense.
Yeah. They're air traffic.
Sovereign Citizen Radiant. I am not flying, I am lashing.
Oh.
That's so funny.
My God. Anyways, Shallan makes Radiant corporeal and stabs the fused.
Yeah. Chapter
10. Syl really wants to be Kaladin Scribe, so they go pick up the Way of Kings to take on the Way. The librarian is really fucking rude.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaladin's like not gonna stand for it. Kaladin is a better person than I am with his restraint. There is a very funny conversation though about the librarian is like, you should wear leggings under your dress when you fly. And Scylla's like, oh, because of, like, what's under there. And she's like, no, tell me what's under there. So I thought it must be really ugly. So I put a Charles head where my vagina should be.
Yeah.
Because it was the ugliest thing I could think of. And sometimes I feed it grass.
This book is...
It's fucking weird, man.
500,000 words long.
This is the kind of weird shit we would add to Smut Corner. The fact that this made it in Brandon Sanderson's writing...
Like, did Brandon Sanderson's kids, like, get to write a page of the book? Like,
no, he watched our Wheel of Time book club and was like, Smut Corner is
the
very
Cholussy! Yes, Blue Sun, it's the Cholussy.
Should I do that cosplay?
This is the chapter that broke people in the preview. People hated this chapter. I mean, it's wildly unnecessary.
I thought it was funny. You laughed, so you guffawed.
It's funny. It's not that it's not funny. It's that this book is weird. It's like the tone of this book is so strange.
Sure, yeah.
This book feels like it should be more pressing. And it's so chill.
Kaladin's just like having a blast.
Kaladin's like talking with his parents about how he like used to be really curious about dung spren. Like there's a whole like scat joke earlier. There's a lot of like jokes.
At the end of the world.
That just and it's like Tef died 48 hours ago. You know what I mean? Like it's like going to someone's Shiva and then being like pussy, right? And you'd be like, yeah, Tef's dead.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, I do get the, like, dark humor in, like, moments like this.
Oh, like, using humor at
but
times.
None of this book feels heavy. It's not, that's what it is. The book, Kaladin feels so light. For a character who last book was, like, struggling with depression, it feels a little bit like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 when he's like walking around like, hey. Like, you would just think there would be some sobriety to the feeling of the book so far. And all of the Kaladin, like, we cut to Shallan, who's like choking on beads, dying, fighting for her life. And then Kaladin's in the tower. He's like, Teft died 48 hours ago, and we're fucking talking about Syl's vagina. Hilarious.
Yeah.
And I just, Orc says, Orc MCC says, welcome to the Gallows humor and the keep calm and carry on mentality. That's not Kaladin's mentality, though.
Yeah, the extreme shifting. Here's the thing.
If it was Lopin, I would feel it more.
No. It works for Syl. It's that Kaladin, how he is interacting and reacting to these things happening, just feels a little out of place for the events that have led up to this. This is very within Syl's character, and that's why it works for me as a chapter. It is what is happening around Syl, including Kaladin, including the 10 days thing, like all of that, which feels a little off.
Yes, and then I want to get to Seth Butler's comment here, because this drove me crazy. Kaladin not knowing what a library is was strange since he knew in the Way of Kings. Kaladin would know what a librarian is. I'm sorry, but the idea that Lirin raised that boy to go to the fucking scholars and that 4 years in the military made him forget what a library was is lunacy. Kaladin can't read. I understand that he can't read. He's not an idiot. He's educated. Kaladin not knowing what a library is was the strangest sentence to put in this book. It made no fucking sense.
Yeah, I could have done without that.
It's just a common word. Like the idea that Kaladin now understands what a therapist is, but is like, she's the book quartermaster. I was like, what?
I think Brandon
he was educated to be a surgeon.
I think it was like a funny pun word that Brandon thought was very clever and just wanted to like work it in.
I understand that. I understand that. But making our characters dumb for humor is just not something I like.
Yeah, sure.
If it was any other character, I wouldn't mind. But we've spent 4 books with Kaladin being like, I was educated to be a surgeon and I was trained to be a warrior. What do I do with those 2 parts of myself? Like, that's just who Kaladin is he is both of those things.
Yeah.
He isn't like Scar, who's like, I've been in the military my whole life. I don't know what a library is.
Yeah.
He's he's educated. It's just it's so weird.
Yeah.
I think it's strange.
Yeah, I get it's one of those things where it's like I don't hate I could have done without it because it's just a little odd.
It's just odd. And this is the thing, like I like this book. I'm enjoying parts of it. It's vibes. Yeah. Like Wind and Truth honestly kind of starts out with vibes. Genuinely.
Yeah. Because then Kaladin is like, all right, I'm going to do some therapizing. Hey, lady, you must really be hurting because you're being super mean to Syl. And I hope that you can unpack that one day and talk to somebody about it. It's not me, but I hope that you can find someone to talk to about your pain, because you seem like you're projecting in a way that makes it very clear that you are hurting, and you think it makes you look strong by pushing people away and being mean. So best of luck. Okay, cool. I think that went well. I'm going to take notes for my therapy book. Because she reacted to that well. She we got a shame sprint. We got a shame sprint from it. That's a good step. That's a good step, right?
Back suffocating under the water.
Oh yeah, right.
Like, we take a break from this fight to go talk about
Cholosy,
the pussy of Syl.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Maybe that's why I found it
Adolin's
funny.
dying. She creates a room, and then Bide Omishram starts yelling into that room, "Fuck you, humans! I'm gonna fucking murder every single one of you. I'm going to come to your planet, and I'm gonna burn you, betrayers!
Dishonor on
I'm gonna
you.
eat your testicles for breakfast."
Dishonor on your cow.
I love that you referenced that twice today.
I know. It's in my hand, I guess. It's my cow sweater, you know.
And So
it's gonna go really well when they go get Baido Mushroom, because Baido Mushroom is gonna fuck them up.
It is interesting that Baido Mushroom's in the spiritual realm, which means she's able to talk to Shallan while she's underwater. I don't know. I don't get it, but we'll understand soon.
Yeah.
So they start fighting. Adolin starts fighting with Abidi, but Shallan is able to make fake Adolins, and Radiant becomes physical and starts stabbing people. Abidi uses up all of his void light, so he falls into the beads. He starts to suffer, and gets pulled out. That's when we get the, like, Odium must know that you guys are doing that thing again where you make shit physical, because that's bad.
Oh, yes. What does he call it?
Substantiating.
Thank you, Ruby.
So she can substantiate now. And
happy for best
Radiant
girl.
is able to shoot a shard bow that isn't real, making all the heavenly ones leave. Mm-hmm. And Shallan creates a submarine. And they start traveling underwater in a submarine.
We all live in a Shallan submarine. A Shallan submarine. A Shallan submarine. In the town where I was born. In Cabrant. No, wait, no. I sailed to see a big titty mommy milker. Who was happy to teach me. It's great. It's a good time.
I have sung many songs on this show, and none of them have been as funny as that was.
No, you've done some bangers.
I know, but that well done. Yeah.
Oh boy. Anyways,
so they surface their submarine, and he goes and finds an island, where Gallant has landed.
Whoa! I'm sorry, Chris Pilkington. If a pregnant woman goes swimming, she is a submarine. I hate that. That is horrible. Just the thought of that. Like, it just I'm imagining, like, Thomas the Tugboat.
If a pregnant woman goes swimming, she is Thomas the Tugboat.
Yeah, I don't like it. Honestly, I don't like it. Great. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
You have that cry look that you get in your eyes.
Oh yeah, no, that was
from thinking about
off-putting.
You have a very specific look sometimes, and you just hit it from
a
pregnant woman is swimming. She's a submarine.
It's what all my acting teachers told me because they didn't want to tell me I was ugly. I have a very specific look.
Yeah, you're so hideous.
Oh my god.
We bought this house off your ugly looks.
Hey, I did have a teacher tell me that I should really just stick to theater.
I mean, I agree.
Wow.
Also, did you guys check out the Interview with the Vampire trailer that Clarisse is in, making out with a hot lady?
Yeah. Technically, it's the Vampire Lestat. They're not actually calling it Interview with the Vampire Season 3,
which is
I
so
didn't know,
weird.
which is cool, but yeah, surprise, I'm gonna be in that show.
Yeah, Clarisse is kissing women on TV.
Hell yeah.
We only book television roles where we do weird shit.
I love it. Honestly,
not
it's
weird.
Great.
Kissing women is not weird. I want to be clear.
Yeah, it was the New York Comic-Con trailer that they showed this past weekend. So...
You're only in it for a second, but...
No, I don't even think it is a full second.
Yeah.
It is like 0.3 of a second, but it's still cool. Okay?
I also love that people are like trying to guess which wildly important, massive character you are.
Bro.
Temper your expectations.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll react to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. Anyways,
we are gonna react to Interview with the Vampire Season 2 when that show's closer.
Yes, like start of the year. That'll come out.
Anyway, so this is where Shoreblood comes over. They find Gallant has somehow landed his lashing and is running with horses on an island.
Yeah.
Shoreblood comes over and
locks eyes with
Adelin's like, I know that horse.
Adelin's like super weird. I have no idea who that is.
Very, very
sweet. I was like, Adelin.
Very sweet.
Yeah. Also, Rashadium Bond music spren?
Yeah.
Is the implication of this. So that's wild. Because that means horses are smart enough to have intent before they become Rashadium.
To be fair to the Shoreblood thing, I also didn't know it was Shoreblood. You pointed that out.
Yeah.
You made that connection. And I was like, oh, shit, of course.
Yeah, I was
just like, oh, weird. I was like, is he going to bond a music spread? No, I'm just...
No, I was like, oh, it's Shoreblood.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it was actually. It was a very sweet moment. No, I know Rashadium are intelligent, but they have to be intelligent horses to then bond Rashadium because they have to be able to have intent to swear an oath, right?
Yeah. It also means Rashadium have gem hearts. I believe so. That's what differentiates them from normal horses.
Which, I'm not going to lie, I am kind of surprised at because these people seem very intent on hunting down anything that has a gem heart because it's so valuable. I'm shocked that there are still Rashadium alive and that we haven't, like, poached them like the fucking White Rhino or some shit.
I mean, their gem hearts might not be big enough to be useful, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Kremlings have gem hearts, though, don't they, Victor Desana? They just have little ones. They're little guys. Because that one spren was hiding in the gem heart of a Kremling.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they could, and the Void Spren would like hide.
I think everything native to Roshar has a gem heart.
Yeah, okay.
They're just tiny, like they're just very small. Yeah. So they scout ahead. Drahey finds out basically there's a giant army headed to Aesir, which is interesting because this army was headed to Aesir before the Pact. Because it would have been taking it months to get there.
Yes.
So,
which is why Odium is like, oh yeah, whatever land we hold at the end of 10 days.
And they're like, we don't know why these heavenly ones are attacking us in the middle of the ocean. What are they hiding? It's this attack. So they are like, we gotta get to Azamir as fast as possible. Chapter 12, Beyond the Brands. Kaladin... Oh, no, wait. This is where Kaladin has the conversations with Scar and Lopen. That's right.
It's kind of all... It feels like one scene.
Yeah. So we've already kind of talked about it.
Kaladin gets his tattoo.
Yeah. He gets Bridge 4 tattooed on his forehead.
Yeah.
Which is so sweet.
Yeah.
And this scene's fucking great. This chapter's great. This is where the relaying conversation happens. And all of this chapter... Loved it.
Yeah.
This is a chapter where I clued in that I was like, oh, we're doing a greatest hits of Kaladin's life.
Yes. 100%.
And I just, it's really beautiful. And him being able to walk away from this scene being like, I set them up. Like, they're going to be okay without me. Is a testament to his leadership, right? Like, he and to, like, the bonds that he got them to... You know, he's not a bondsmith, but he smithed some bonds, if you know what I mean.
He did smith some bonds.
And Syl sniffed a bondsmith.
Yes.
Syl sniffed a bondsmith. Syl sniffed a bondsmith.
Nice.
Syl sniffed a bondsmith. Yeah, that's a good one. And he goes to Zeth, and Zeth is like, you good to go? Azamir. Chapter 13, Promise.
Promises.
Shallan gets the Oathgate in Asmere, and the Oathgate is like, fuck you.
Yeah, the Oathspren is, or not Oathspren, sorry, the Inkspren, the big tall giant guys are like, we'll let you through for now. And she's like, what do you mean for now? And she's like, and they're like, well, we have decided that maybe we don't want to do this anymore. She's like, okay, great.
But they're still going to be gate spread. They're just going to let everyone through because that's freedom.
Yeah.
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 They are now free to continue to do what they were doing more.
Yeah. Jean Anat has been by and influenced them with free will, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a problem because the army's going to be able to get through.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, we're friends. And my favorite part of this conversation, she's like, but we're friends. And the Inkspren is like, we're not bitch, I don't know you.
Who are you?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Oh my god. And then we start hearing, Shallan.
Yeah. Some creation spren pop up out of the beads and follow her to the gate.
Yeah, and she's like, what the fuck? And Pattern's like, why are you staring at the creation sprint? I like staring. It makes me feel like I have eyes. And I was like, what the fuck?
The more we go through these books, the more you are just Pattern.
I love him. I love him so much. Like, Adolin is best boy, but I think Pattern might be my favorite character ever.
I like staring because it makes me feel like I have eyes is one of the best lines he's written.
Peak. That is fucking peak Cosmere.
I like staring. It makes me feel like I have eyes.
Yeah. Amazing.
No, it's great.
I'm going to make a t-shirt, actually, that says that.
Yeah. Just the pattern with, like, I like staring. It makes me feel like I have eyes.
I want to get an artist. Mm-hmm. If there's anyone here who wants to do it, or I'll take it to this. I want to get an artist to draw, like, you know, their own interpretation of Pattern's pattern. And then I'm just going to put the text over it. It's going to be great. It's going to be hilarious.
What if it's, like, a gray shirt? And then the pattern is black, so you kind of can't, like, Pattern's kind of hidden in it, and then the, like, text is white on top of it.
Oh, cool, yeah, I dig that. Or it could be, like, a black shirt with black, like, embroidery on it, so it, like, is kind, you see it, but kind of not, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the white text on it. I think it'd look cool.
Or the text is in the pattern. It's one of those shirts where, like, the text is, like, made into a shape.
But then you have to be, like, I don't know, to read it.
So, they go through the gate, and then all of a sudden, Shallan is just assaulted violently by her new shard plate.
Yes, which is red.
Which is a nightmare. She suddenly has these things glomming onto her body, being like, Shallan. And she's like, what the fuck is going on?
Horrific.
Oh, shard plate.
It's like a horror movie. And they're, like, trying to, like, imagine what the plate should be, and the plate is, like just wants to be, like, helpful and praised so bad. Yeah. The description of this was incredible and also horrifying.
Well, and Kaladin getting his plate is such a, like, glorious moment. It's just like, oh, yeah, surround me. And then Shallan is like, my clothes are getting ripped. My bag is on the ground. What is happening? And then her creation spren are like, oh, right, your bag. And so she gets, like, a side saddle, like, bookcase.
That they then cover in armor as well. And they're like, look, we did it. Look, Shallan. And I'm like, oh, God.
It's like, oh, my God, the wind spren they're a lot, but, like, they're so much
at least they're not
more
creation
chill.
Spren. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they don't talk to Kaladin while they're on his body.
Yeah.
I fucking love this. I was like, this is a nightmare, and it's hilarious, and I hate it for Shallan, but I also love it.
Yes, exactly.
Great for me, terrible for Shallan.
Anyways, Kaladin's there, and
before that, Radiant is like, we really should cut our hair, maybe like an inch long, and Shallan is like, you shut your whore mouth.
Yeah, you shut your dirty whore mouth. That'll never happen.
Radiant, I will lock you deep, deep in our bond, and you will never come out again.
Yeah.
Do not touch my glorious red locks. Mm-hmm. Adolin loves to pull on them when we're having sex.
Yeah, we can't get rid of them.
Kaladin shows up, and is like, hey, guys.
Dude.
I'm never going to see you again, so, like, can we hug?
Yeah, she's like, wait, this kind of feels like a goodbye. And he's like, I don't know what's going to happen, man. And then he, like, gives an awkward hug, and then he hugs Adolin longer, because...
And then Kaladin is like, honor is dead, and Adolin's like, not so long as it lives in each of us. And Kaladin's like, where'd you hear that before? And Adolin's like, it's not important enough to bring up right now.
Doesn't matter, I made it up.
It won't be relevant to this book, to your part of this book.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, they they want to go for a drink, and Kaladin's like, I actually like should have left already. But we're gonna have a drink when I get back. Or Shallan.
No, Adolin is like, the four of us should have a drink when you get back, and I was like, Zeth?
No, Syl.
I know, but in the moment I was like, the only four people here are Adolin. Why does Zeth go? And then he's like, Syl. Oh yeah, I was so I was so confused.
Yeah, but we're discluding pattern and testament.
And Shallan summons Testament to use the Oath Gate. And is like, hey, Adolin, can I use 2 swords? And Adolin's like, 2 swords isn't a great look, but sword and knife, I've trained in rapier and dagger combat. It is fun. Or sword
and shield.
Oh.
That's a Pokemon game.
Oh, it's actually 2 Pokemon games.
Yeah.
So Sword and Shield coming soon to the Nintendo Switch. And so, yeah, they go to Urithiru, and they're going to go... Adolin's going to go talk to Daddy, and Shallan is going to go fight Mraize. And then go to the run. Chris Buckley does bring up, there is actually more characters there, because it is Adolin, Shallan, Radiant, Maya, Testament, Pattern, Kaladin, and Syl all go for a drink.
And, like, Formless, because we still haven't dealt with that. So.
Linus Victor says, can I use 2 swords while standing between Adolin and Cal? Interesting.
The implications!
We cut over to Kaladin, who's like, oh, man.
Thank God I didn't date Shallan. Anyways.
Like, the book implies that he pined for her way harder than it ever really felt like she did.
It was a little unexpected to both of us. We were like, yeah, like, he thought, like, there was maybe a thing there, and then there wasn't, and then Syl kind of bugged him about it. Like, that didn't
really... They never went on, like, a date.
That didn't really feel like pining to me, personally, but sure.
I feel like Cal was so early in that, was like, oh, you're light eyes. I don't know that I want that.
Exactly.
It just felt like a bit, it felt like he was way more nostalgic for his feelings of Shallan than I ever felt.
Yeah, he looked longingly that one time. That is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a date if you don't know it's a date. We just have to put that out there.
I don't know. This section took me by surprise.
Same. I thought it was weird.
It didn't feel like there was ever a love triangle, really.
No. It was like Kaladin thought that, like, you know, he had a lot of conflicting feelings for her because, like, he found someone else who was also struggling with life in the way that he was, and used it and did something else with that, right? And there was like a measure of respect there. But Kaladin's like, man, we would never have worked because of this and this and this, and he
goes full into therapy speak.
Yeah. It was
my ADHD and her autism would not have blended.
Honestly, I felt like Vale was more into Kaladin than I ever thought that Kaladin was into Shallan.
Yes.
So it was just interesting.
Yeah, it just felt like it felt like he was remembering it more than we did.
Yeah.
And then he is like, oh, and I guess Dalinar did say one thing. We didn't talk about this in Dalinar chapter. I did like that Dalinar was like, oh, we don't care about adoption. In Alethi culture, sons are sons. Like, you would be my son.
Yeah.
And so here he's like, oh yeah, Adolin would have been my brother. Yeah. But this is, again, the, like, nostalgia tour of Kaladin's, like, story in these books. Because he's like, I have, over the course of my journey, I have acquired so many siblings. And now I am rich with family and love and life. It's time for me to go to my final battle.
Yeah.
And
it's why I think it would have felt more organic at the end of the other book.
Yeah.
It would have felt less like is Kaladin about to die? Like, Interlude 1.
Kalak gets kidnapped by the Ghostbloods.
Immediately. Like, literally immediately, Shallan's like, you should come with us. And he's like, nah, man. And then immediately gets fucked. Like... Yeah,
it gets wrapped up by living curtains.
Yeah.
So it's breath time, baby.
Yeah, breath time. There's also a Sion. Well... It's the specific Sion that they were using there who has been double-crossing Shallan to the Ghostbloods. Yeah,
so the Sion was the betrayer the whole time, which means that the Ghostbloods are far more aware of Shallan and Wit's plan than...
Yeah, I guess so.
And so, Alla and Felt are there, and they have the dagger, and they're going to threaten Kalak, and they're like, we'll keep him alive, just in case we need him. Sorry, Clack. Yeah, it sucks, buddy.
I just really feel like Felt could, like, because they already got the information that they needed, they, like, didn't even need to confront Kalak.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Unless they are, like, actually, like, kidnapping him for a specific purpose, right? They say he has a role to play, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, they kind of got the information they needed, so what else is there?
Was why we got you to read Lost Metal before? Yes, absolutely.
Thank God.
I will also say, Kalak being like, oh, thank God I don't have to make any more decisions, is so funny.
Yeah.
It's like there was a TikTok that went viral early on in the pandemic where someone made the joke of, like, it's so hard to find a job right now that, like, if you got kidnapped and they're like, oh, you're going to feed me? I just need to, like, hang out and eat and you're going to take care of everything? Oh, this is...
Great.
Don't send me back. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you say. Yeah. Interlude 2, The Divided God. Odium is holding a child as he dies in a country between Roshar and... not Roshar, between... Azamir and Yakovet, and he's like, wow, why are these systems so bad for so long? And cultivation is like, because they had to be, or else worse things would have happened. And he's like, oh, fuck. Well, I could just like not do the Contest of Champions because, like, you know, whatever, it's me. And she's like, no, actually you have to because you said you would.
Yeah, you made an oath.
Otherwise you open yourself up to something.
Yeah, but, like, he could, like, throw the contest, you know? You can show up and, like,
I don't know.
Lose, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. The weird element of this chapter being this idea that, like, in looking at possible futures, they decided not intervening and allowing racism to exist is just so... It is a tough, like, essentialist view that I think that a lot of religious people have that I just so fundamentally disagree with.
Yeah, they are gods.
I understand that, but it's creating a world with racism and then being like, no, the racism had to exist because the gods that I'm also creating are using the justification that I created that says that this has to exist. Mm-hmm. And... it is something that I feel like a lot of religious fantasy writers write into their settings of like, oh no, like the slavery was like part of like the immaculate design.
Okay, yeah, but the difference is in those stories, it feels like the writer actually like believes that. Whereas like in this scene, it doesn't actually feel like that's like Brandon Sanderson saying that that's like a correct worldview. Like in this, it's saying that like gods are bad. Like that because there is too much knowledge, there is too much foresight, there is not enough foresight, there is not enough like drive to do anything, that like one person, one entity having too much power is just inherently bad.
I agree with that. Like I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying that the conclusion being justifiable is...
What do you mean justifiable?
Well, because Odium or Teravangian kind of is like, yeah, I mean, like, you're right. Like, I see what you're saying.
He says, I understand. And then he says, but I think we can do better.
Yeah, it's just, it's a tough argument, in my opinion. Especially given the way in which his writing has been going since his earlier stuff.
Sorry, what's the argument?
The way in which Brandon Sanderson has... created racism and slavery in his worlds in order to make points that he does not explore very deeply. I think it is a fair criticism of the second half of his career to say that he has sort of become like cultivation in this, where the slavery and the racism and the elements that he is using for like emotional value in his stories are not elements of his stories that he explores all that deeply, in favor of writing books about people who have significantly more control and power in their stories, versus his earlier books, which had at least some, I mean, mostly just really Mistborn, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Oh, and like Emperor's Soul, which are about people who are struggling against systems. Most of his books are about people who uphold systems and the way they fight against the people who are trying to change those systems. He writes about kings and queens and nobles and the world hoppers who interact with racism and slavery on various planets but don't do anything about it. Like, Hoyt isn't interested in helping slaves. That's never something that he's seemed at all. He doesn't care about that at all, right? so the characters Brandon Sanderson chooses to focus his attention on while creating and fostering these storylines about how, oh yeah, we enslaved this race for 3,000 years and now we have to fight them and we're going to kill them and we're going to, and like some of our characters are going to care about that, but the majority won't, right? And the way we're having Taravangian here kind of be like, why do we do this? And Cultivation be like, well, if we didn't, the books wouldn't exist. Is sort of the justification of, you know what I mean? Like it kind of is in line with what I view as sort of an odd choice on Brandon Sanderson's part in terms of how much his stories focused on privileged people trying to uphold the privileges and the systems that have allowed them to disenfranchise other people, right? Warbreaker's probably the best example of this, where it's literally about the rich and wealthy people stopping the revolution of the people that they've oppressed since they colonized them. And so it is interesting in that there is this push towards like Odium kind of paying lip service to the idea that, oh, well, we should have changed the systems, and Cultivation being like, well, we can't, or else like bad things would have happened, in books where I feel like Brandon Sanderson at times uses that logic to allow for systems of oppression to exist within his like main characters' philosophies.
Yeah, I think that like this scene does a very important job of showing that like Cultivation kind of is, before this point, I think of as like probably a good character, like in terms of like doing good. But this is a moment where like you kind of see the good in Odium and Taravangian, and that's like flipped on its head.
Well, but you don't see the good in Odium.
What
you see the good in because that the character that has been Odium until this point does not exist, right? Like that. This is the problem with Odium not being that character anymore.
But it's about being a specific thing, right? And it's like Odium is like passion, right? And there are these traits that this scene really highlights are not positive or negative. They are traits, and it is how you go about using and implementing them that actually matters, which is why them being shattered into individual pieces that cannot see past their own, like, one individual trait that is a bad thing, right? Like, it feels like either having no shards or having Adonalsium come together to then embody all the things has to be the solution, because them divided is actually very bad, right? Like, it is people that live too strongly in one world, like Nail, right? Yeah. Like, has like this too rigid structure, too rigid worldview. And I liked that this moment complicated things about the gods, especially Odium, because Odium has been like the bad guy up until now. But there are parts of Odium, parts of the Shard, parts of Taravangian that are positive and like for good and that you can't have the ideas be separate in these shards, because they are too forceful, and that you need people and ideas and things working together to actually make a better world.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. I do completely agree with you on that. Mm-hmm. And I think that the more we explore the shards being complicated, I think the more I would like it. I do feel like they have been a little bit like good guy, bad guy. In a lot of these stories, right? Like Ruin is obviously bad guy. Preservation was kind of a good, well, not really, but complicated. I guess that was complicated. But the shards are mostly negative, if I'm being honest. Like all the gods are kind of bad. And if cultivation is,
I think they're all bad because they are separated from the ability to do good. Like they're too much one thing.
But the humans came together to rip Adonalsium apart. So I can't imagine it was perfect before.
We don't know why.
Yeah. It
could be that those humans were fucking jealous and wanted power. It could be. I don't know if it is that. I'm just saying that seems very human. They're like, damn, God has all this power. We want a piece of that. Like,
I think that I think that there is an element of what Brandon Sanderson chooses to write about that is at times not as revolutionary as I think he thinks it is. And instead is very... I think that, like, the Cosmere... One of the problems I have with Hoyd as a character is that Hoyd does not want things to change. Right? Like, Hoyd is is willing to let planets be destroyed by evil gods to keep the wider Cosmere from problems. But the wider Cosmere isn't a place. Those are just made up of the individual places. So Hoyd is essentially just going around watching bad things happen places in the hopes that bigger bad things don't happen. And that it feels like the gods are now doing that too. And it is a weird system of people saying, like, well, we're just going to allow the bad to be bad because all these super-powered people who are acknowledging that they have the power to influence these things are like, well, we have reasons not to, so we just won't. And that, to me, is less interesting than if they were to get involved and try to make things better. Mm-hmm. But it seems like everyone is kind of acting like preservation a little bit. And cultivation being like, well, we couldn't have done anything. Your job is to cultivate. What are you cultivating if not change? Like, what is cultivation's thing if not change? How do you cultivate and not move things forward? Right? Like, what does cultivation mean about, like, we can't get involved? You have to be involved to be cultivation. Cultivating is involvement, right? But it feels a little bit like this chapter felt a little bit like Brandon Sanderson trying to take some pressure off of our god characters to interact with the fact that slavery's been such a big part of these books, and that's a system that isn't going to change. Even though, like, Odium is like, we should change that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with Odium, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on Tervangian's side. And one of the weird things about him as a villain now is he doesn't want to do the Contest of Champions anymore. And so I'm like, we could have at least made him want to do it. Like, I feel like there's a way to have written this chapter that made him be like, no, there's a way the Contest of Champions can be a good thing for me or something. But him being like, oh, I'll just not do it. And Cultivation's like, no, you have to. And he's like, oh, I don't want to, though. And I'm like, great, well, I guess I'll read a whole book about this thing that neither party really wants to do.
That's why it's the C plot.
Yeah, it's just the beginning of this book is good. It's strange, and like we're 1/10 of the way through the book. I'm not trying to make any kind of claim about the book as a whole. I'm just kind of talking about my feelings reading it, and it is a strange start to a novel. Mm-hmm. And the bad guy doesn't want to do the thing that he has to do. The good guys are going off on a bunch of different side quests that are like categorically not relevant to each other, and there's so many sweet character moments. There's so much good interpersonal stuff in it. Mm-hmm. Great fight, the battle in the air, great. Trying to understand what this book is very strange to me.
Yeah.
And and to end day one with the gods being like, well, no, like, yeah, racism was bad, slavery was bad, but like, can you imagine if we hadn't let those things exist? Things would have been worse somehow. I don't know.
No, I mean, that's not what cultivation... You've said that a few times, and
that is what she's saying.
No, she's like, if we don't allow people to face hardships, then they don't grow and change and get better. She doesn't say things would have been worse if we stopped slavery from happening.
No, but Odium's point is like, well, why didn't we involve ourselves in changing the systems that allowed for this to happen? Yeah. And she's like, well, we couldn't. If we had interacted in those things, worse things would have happened. You can see that. And he goes like, I can see that, but I'm going to do better. Like, and I like that he has that point of view. Like, I do. And I think that Tervangian having that point of view is interesting. The problem is that Tervangian has that point of view and is locked into doing a thing he doesn't want to do. Right?
Yeah. I think that there is something to be said about, you say like, cultivation is like worse things would happen if we stop slavery. Yeah. I think taking away free will of all people is pretty bad.
But
so we need to find
people's free will is what slavery is.
Yes.
You had an entire race not have free will for 3,000. That is what
and cultivation
happened.
Says either some people get their free will taken away or everybody has all free will taken away. which is how she sees it, which is how she sees this situation. And Taravangian's like, no, there has to be something else.
Yeah, and I just think that I hope that this book ends up being about that. I'm a little worried it's going to be about a bunch of like side quest nonsense. But if Taravangian is actually interested in changing the systems of Roshar, I am on his side more than anybody's in this book.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't enslave the world to go to war with the Cosmere, I think Taravangian's got some good ideas.
And then it comes back, but that like it is weird to me that that's what it always comes back to.
Sure.
Like, and that's what Brandon set up, right? Yeah. Like that's what he like. I'm not trying to put this on the book, right? But that's what these books are. Like we're reading books about slaves going to war. You know what I mean? It's like and like some of them are former slaves, some of them were enslaved by the humans, but are now enslaved by a god who doesn't want slavery to exist. I don't think it's just it's a strange sort of melange of things that I don't know how.
There's a lot at play here, and I know this is book 5 out of 10, but also it is also book 5 out of 5 because apparently this is like there's a break.
The end of arc 1 or whatever.
Yeah. There is an arc here, and I really am curious to see how all of these ideas are touched on and brought together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and how this war ends in a way that the singers get their personhood back.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
There's a lot of concepts that are being dealt with in this series.
And I'm excited for Brandon Sanderson to like hopefully dive into some of them a little bit more deeply than he has with some of the dark-eyed, light-eyed stuff that I feel like he kind of has left by the wayside for a few books, and is now like, well, culture's kind of shifted in the background.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the reading this week.
Ember Eyes says, but in order to cultivate something, you do pruning and weeding and a whole lot of work to help things grow. That's my point. What is cultivation if not interceding? You don't cultivate things by letting them grow on their own.
Well, no, it's weirdly the difference in like teaching your children to make good decisions on their own versus forcing them to make specific decisions. And I don't know how to handle that. I'm not like a parent. I would not be a good cultivation. I feel like I am far too heavy-handed with my thoughts and opinions on things, and I'm not good at guiding other people towards their own decisions and their own thoughts and feelings. But like, I don't know, like both of those things are true. I don't know. It's tough because if you're just forcing someone into a specific decision, that is not cultivation either.
I think, though, that forcing people to create a society without slavery isn't taking away their free will. Being like, hey, like, that's a thing you can't do.
That's exactly...
But that's not what cultivation has done. Cultivation is like, we gotta stay out of it. Let them figure it out.
Yeah, because if cultivation were to come in and was like, I'm God and you're not allowed to do these things, that would be more tyrannical and domineering than cultivating. It's tough. It's complicated.
I think you're wrong. Like, saying, like, you can't take the easy way, that you have to build something on a stronger foundation, isn't...
It's forcing someone to make a decision. Yeah, you are forcing people into a specific path.
And again, like, there's a gulf between tyranny and freedom. And pure freedom is bad. Right? And tyranny is bad.
It's only bad if you can't trust people to make good decisions.
Sure, but I'm saying that sometimes we have to take out certain options because they're too easy. Theft is easier than work, and so theft is illegal. If you want stuff, you have to work for it. Right?
Look, I don't even know if I agree with that on a fundamental level. Because if I were to steal something from a person, that is harder on me emotionally than doing the work to get it myself.
But then you're saying like but then you're arguing for anarchy. Like, we have laws for a reason. Some laws are good laws. Murder is a bad thing.
Yeah, that's why it's complicated. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what the answer is. And these two gods' conversation about it is actually really fascinating to me.
I think that her stepping in and being like, hey, like, you need to figure out how to be wealthy without slavery isn't tyranny. Personally. I think that, like...
Yeah, I
think that the argument being, like, pure free will versus pure anarchy, or pure anarchy versus pure tyranny is not a valid argument. There's a middle ground. There's things that you're allowed to do and there's things you're not allowed to do.
Well, but that's why the shards as a concept are bad. Because they are purely one thing and not another thing.
Sure, yeah.
That's why...
I just don't think she's acting like cultivation in this.
They're not good leaders. They're not good gods. Because they cannot have the nuance that allows for a better world. It's why Sazed is probably doing the best job out of all of them, because he has both things and the capacity for both. Now, that is, again, paralyzing him in a way that is also interesting to analyze. But all these individual gods can't do shit because they only have one thing, one focus, one drive, one worldview. They need the others, or none at all, to actually achieve, like, a better world, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I found the like moral argument of this chapter odd. I like Tervangen's point of view in it, and I just don't like that Tervangen isn't interested in him being so quick to be like, I just don't have to do the contest. I'm like, oh, God, no.
Well, but now he does have to, so it's like, well.
I know, but yeah. I want the book to want me to take it seriously, and this opening part is like, don't worry about that. It's just gonna happen. All this other stuff is what you actually should pay attention to. The contest is just going to happen at the end of the book. Is a weird sort of like feeling to have, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's part 1. It was a 3 hour and 40-minute book club, which we haven't done in a long time.
Sorry.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. And we were supposed to have dinner tonight, but that's canceled. So
yeah,
I don't know what we're gonna do the rest of the day. I'm probably gonna watch One Piece. If you like the video, like, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me comments down below, because the algorithm goddess hungry. We must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is
Cultivation.
Oh, wow. Not who I would have gone with, but great. Give us 5 stars on all podcasts.
Probably by Ado Mishram. Because Ado Mishram, I'm going to fucking kill you all.
Ado Mishram. Ba Ado Mishram. Ba Ado Mishram. Ba Ado
Oh, no, you're right. It's the Cholosi is the algorithm goddess.
Mishram. If you want to give us 5 stars everywhere on podcast feeds, we would greatly appreciate that, because it helps people find us, and I would love for people to find us. I know.
You think that our
I just think it would be very funny for someone to come in and be like, "What is this? What is this show?
What are these?
They spent
doing?
45 minutes talking about like the pussy of a chol. Anyway, do you think chol pussy would taste good? I think it'd be fishy
or crabby. I don't know. I don't eat
crab. Crab and fish smells and taste similar.
I don't really eat crab, but I do like fish.
Do you know that fake crab is just fish? That, like, artificial crab meat is just, like, it's not salmon, but it's, like, haddock or something.
Gross.
That's just, like, blended.
Haddock is terrible.
What? Chat,
terrible fish.
Which fish is, artificial crab meat?
I have no idea. Yeah.
Pink Hermana says, whitefish, yeah. I really love that this feels like a real book club, so thanks for the engaging combos. Hey,
honestly, like, that's fair. Like, people are like, yeah, I do book club, and we, like, we read this book, and then we kind of just hang out for a while. And we do the hangout, but we do really, 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 really deep dive into the shit.
Yeah, and I feel like this is my therapy, where I talk about all the weird shit that goes on in my brain, and you guys have to sit through it.
Fair enough. That's what Smut Corner's for.
And then people complain about me in the Discord, and then say they don't watch book club anymore, but they're still complaining about me in the book club Discord. That's the weird... That people who are like, I don't watch book club anymore, but let me tell you why Nerdy's not good at this. And I'm like, why are you still
But wait, you had to watch book club to comment on...
I don't think they do. I think they're just bringing up old grievances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well.
Which is fair. I don't like
those are the people that don't grow and change then.
Hi-lo. Clarus, give your high for the first day of Wind and Truth.
I think my high for this section is actually the comedy. I guffawed several times throughout this section, but specifically Pattern and his line about feeling like he has eyes, going into Shallan being attacked by her armor.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, that chapter just worked for me real hard. I loved the comedy of it. I found it very, very enjoyable. So that's going to be my high for this section.
Yeah.
What is your low?
None of it's bad. Although, if you listen to this conversation, this conversation wasn't super positive, but it was just me trying to work through my feelings on this, which is because...
This is your therapy.
My low of this section is not any piece of it, because I think all the pieces are genuinely good.
Yeah.
It's that tonally, this first section felt so all over the place.
Fair.
And I think the prologue sets up a really incredible tone for this book to have taken and run with. And then everything that followed was a bunch of different stuff that I don't know felt like what I wanted the like beginning of the final part of this story to feel like.
Yeah.
And so that was weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a weird feeling. The vibes are kind of like more fun than I want, more like chill than I want. Especially like Tef died 2 days ago. Like the tower should feel just like a little bit more like it's like people banding together to survive. They just got through this terrible thing, and we're like talking about farts and pussies and
yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's just sort of a weird like the Rhythm of War was so dark and it was so recent. Like if like 2 months had passed, it would have felt more like, oh yeah, we're kind of like back to like shit and like, but they're scrubbing blood off the walls. You know what I mean? And they don't know how many people have died yet. Like they would still be looking for bodies. Like that stuff takes time. And we're just doing like Chalusi jokes. And it was just a very odd start to a book.
Yeah.
Given that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your low?
My low is just that I wish this had been at the end of the previous book.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much in this that I loved that I felt was very appropriate to wrap up Rhythm of War.
Yeah.
So it was just, yeah. Very, very odd. What's your high?
That's even harder to just choose one. Because there's so many individual pieces of this I think are so good.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I'm going to go with
just Adolin riding gallant flying.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Adolin standing in the stirrups,
Yes.
just being a thrilled 8-year-old boy. If I could ride a flying... Do you know how much I would fucking love to ride a flying horse? That whole scene is funny. Like, genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I thought that the way in which Shallan was like, that's my man, was really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You're right.
Okay.
All right. We're going to do Smut Corner, so get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, if you don't like sex, leave.
Yeah.
Well, now there's a new place that Adolin and Shallan can fuck in the air.
submarine.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say flying on the back of a flying horse, but...
That sounds like a bad time. Because
I don't know,
Drahey would have to
danger
be
of
there
it.
watching.
Or Kaladin. Just saying. Anyone who can do lashings.
Okay, I'm not going to lie.
Zeth, maybe?
I'm not going to lie.
Uh-huh.
The Chalusi gave me the idea that Silk could, like, give her pussy a tongue.
Probably,
Like,
yeah.
that shit could get real funky.
Or teeth. We could do teeth, but, like, in real life. Not real life. This is fantasy. But, like, Syl is like, you know, I'm going to put teeth on my vagina.
Or, like, okay, because she could make her anatomy kind of whatever.
Yeah.
She could give herself, like, a dick and a vagina, right, next to each other. Mm-hmm. And then another Spren could have a dick and vagina opposite. And they could, like, fuck each other at the same time.
Wait. Shallan can make Radiant real and have sex with herself.
Oh, yeah, no. They can threesome the shit out of Adolin.
Wild.
Do you think that if she can give Vale a body, Vale will be like, can I go fuck Kaladin one time? Will you just make me a body so I can go fuck Kaladin one time?
Oh my god, that's awful.
Oh, yeah, the amount of, like, weird sex she can have, because she can make anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
She could just give herself a dick and fuck Adolin in the ass.
True.
Like,
you can peg, but like
the ultimate
with
pegging,
it being like
she
a
could,
real, because like silicone can be really hard.
But could she give it feeling so that she could like feel like she has a dick?
Well, I don't know. That would depend if she could like feel what Radiant was feeling like in the
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she can actually like give it like sensation, but maybe.
And we're gonna end on Adolin getting pegged. Y'all, we'll be back next week for whatever, I don't know. What are the next chapters?
That is a good question. I'm assuming it's chapter 14 is what we're starting with.
You would be correct. To 33, 14 to 33. I'm assuming that's just day 2, right?
Yeah, probably, maybe.
Y'all, thank you for a great book club. I hope that you enjoyed this.
Thanks, guys.
I certainly did. Yeah, that is just all of day 2.
Great. Love that.
Yeah.
Sick. Let's do this. We got some reactions coming your way, so if you want to join the Patreon to listen to those or become a member here, you can do that, and we'll see you.
Yeah, reactions this week. Oh, we don't have them yet, so we'll see what they are.
Yeah. Babe, what do you...
What?
Don't open that shit.
Oh, that's fair.
That's how you get viruses.
Bye!
Oh my god, goodbye.
Oh, 14, 15, 16, 18, 30, 31, 32, 33. What?
Whoa. Y'all are hungry.
14, 15, 16, 18, 30, 31, 32, 33. 14, 15, 16, 18, 30, 31, 32, 33. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's
we're still
photo.
streaming.
Oh,
We're still streaming.